R2C2H2 artists. You are watching We All Be TV. News Free Dixie for the 21st century. Can you dig it?
Welcome, boys and girls, scholars and laymen, to another wonderful, entertaining, edutainment edition of We All Be. That's News Free Dixie for the 21st century. I'm your host for this empowerment segment, Brother Ron, also known as R2C2H2, the artist. Hope everybody's doing fine and dandy on this Sunday, year of the chosen ones, 2022. This is August, Black August the 7th, 2022. And we got a good show just for you. Our special guest, Brandon T. Jackson, brother Brandon T. Jackson, will be joining us shortly. But I want to get the mood settled. Thank you all for joining us. You could be anywhere this Sunday besides spending with us, and we love you madly. So before we get further ahead, let me read a disclaimer. Disclaimer: the views expressed by hosts and guests on We All Be TV platform are not the official views, opinions, beliefs, or perspectives of We All Be News or the We All Be Group Incorporated. We All Be News is an organization that thoroughly believes in supplementing the information narrative that is usually supplied by the corporate news entities with those viewpoints and expressions which may be marginalized or ignored for a plethora of reasons. We are about informing the general public on alternative perspectives as it relates to news and information, and letting the general public be the ultimate judge in deciding on how to use said information. Informed citizens are responsible citizens. Thank you for your support. So we got a great show for you all. One on Brandon T. Jackson. Had a chance to see the good brother this past Friday at Chuckles Comedy House in Memphis, Tennessee, out in East Memphis, the East Side. And he was actually very funny. I had no idea he was that funny. And also Brandon T. Jackson is a very interesting dude. Like, got a chance to sit down with him after his first set. Very humble brother. Tell he have a love of his people. He love giving the best of himself to his people. And we're going to talk about one of the reasons why he walked away, because he was everywhere at one point. He's some of my favorite movies of all time. I know y'all like Big Mama's Part 2, like Father Like Son. He was Martin Lawrence's son in Big Mama Part 2. Also, he played Eddie Murphy's son in the TV. They was going to do a TV series called Beverly Hills Cop, and I believe he did the pilot episode with Eddie Murphy and Judge Reinhold. He's going to play Eddie Murphy's son, Aaron Foley. You know, Eddie was named Axel Foley. And I don't think that ever came out. I think they did that back either in 2012 or 2013. And also, he was supposed to play Eddie Murphy's son in Coming to America, but he turned that down. He actually was selected. He was picked by Eddie Murphy, from my understanding, to play his son, but he turned it down and walked away. And he's been gone for a minute because, you know, he was really on his way to becoming a household name, like we think about Michael B. Jordan now. Brandon T. Jackson did a lot of amazing roles early in his career. You know, he's the son of Bishop Wayne Jackson out of Detroit. But he did a couple of my favorite movies. Tropic Thunder. He was great in Tropic Thunder. You know, you had Robert Downey Jr., Ben Stiller, Tom Cruise, Jack Black, and some other folks in that really funny movie to me. And also, you know, he was in Lottery Ticket, Roll Bounce, and some other stuff. But we'll talk a little bit about his career and what he's doing right now, and about him returning to the stage. Like I said, he was funnier than I expected him to be. Really surprised, but I didn't have any expectations, to be honest with you. And shout out to my brother Marlon Ballard, who's a funny guy, who actually got me in to meet his brother. He opened for Brother Brandon. He's opening for him this weekend. Marlon is a funny cat. Marlon Ballard. We had him on the show maybe like a month ago. Got to get it back on. But good people. Good people. Both of you guys are good people. But let me read like a short bio for Brother Brandon. And thank y'all for being patient and for joining us. We're going to get Brother Brandon in soon enough. But I just want to read this short bio. And it's a lot of stuff going on. But y'all, I hope y'all having a great weekend. There's so much stuff happening right now in the world. Stay prayed up best you can, man. That's all I can say. No doubt about it. So let me read this bio. That's me with Brandon that chuckles. And I was doing more than chuckling. I was laughing heartily. A lot of the acts was good. Brother Ambrose from Memphis own Brother Ambrose did his thing. He was the MC. A lot of good acts. But freed up this little thing on Brother Brandon. After Brandon's performances at New York City's Showtime at the Apollo and BET's Comic View, the 19-year-old actor-comedian was cast in his first major role as Shad Moss's best friend, Jr. in Roll Bounce. He won Black Reel's 2006 Best Breakthrough Performance Award for his performance. Jackson starred opposite NBA basketball superstar Kevin Durant in Thunderstruck and Martin Lawrence in the third incarnation of the highly profitable Big Mamas, Like Father, Like Son franchise released by Fox in 2011. He played Lawrence's son, and the two went undercover to solve a murder. Jackson is perhaps best known as Alpha Chino from the high-concept runaway hit Tropic Thunder. Jackson received rave reviews for his role as the soldier Grover Underwood, the best friend and protector of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the Lightning Thief, opposite Logan Lerman and Alexandra Daddario. Brandon co-starred in both Hulu's original series, Deadbeats, and Showtime's Californication. Okay, so that's a little short, but it's more than meets the eye to this brother. Very talented cat. And we'll have him on shortly. But it are very fascinating times that we're living in. And, you know, things could get really serious real fast, real quick. So many things are happening right now. But no, man, that sometimes you got to get, you got to be able to laugh. Even when things ain't going in your favor, you got to be able to laugh every now and then, smile a little, give a little, love a little, excuse me. You know, Dick Gregory, this month will be the 5-year anniversary of Baba Dick passing. And, I think about him often. It's hard not to think about Baba Dick. He's everywhere. He's omnipresent to me. And it's people like Brother Brandon I think about as well. They know the ins and outs of the Hollywood business. And just try to keep your right mind, because I'm very concerned when I look at Hollywood and what's going on. You think about 30-something years ago, Bill Cosby's birthday was just July the 12th. You think about 30-something years ago, where you could, look at the Cosby Show in a different world and some other shows with your whole family. Like you could actually look at the Cosby Show with your grandparents, with your cousins, your siblings, your mom, your dad, whatever. And it'd be peace of night, whatever. And you just look at that. Not to worry about no weirdness, no sexual stuff going on. Just some good, clean entertainment. And now in 2022, you can't name me a show you could watch a so-called black TV show without some type of this dysfunction and some weirdness, emphasis on sex. It's hard to find a show where the whole family just can watch, from beginning to ending without any type of weird stuff going on. And now I'm an artist. I don't believe in censorship, but I do believe in having variety. Like you just shouldn't have one type of black show on TV. It should be several different versions of black shows on TV. People forget, like The Living Single was the blueprint for Friends. That popular white show, it was nothing but white folks in New York City, but they based it off of In Living Single, from my understanding. And, you think about, they always using black to save things. And people say black is a bad, negative thing. No, when you're in the black in business, I mean, you in good standing. So we got the wrong memo when it comes to the word black. but blackness have always been used to save whiteness. If you think about the entertainment industry, you know, Hollywood was about to go bankrupt and be non-existent in the 1970s. What saved Hollywood was black exploitation movies. The black consumer dollar saved Hollywood. You know, black sets trends. Black isn't whack. When you're in the black, that means you're on the right track. You see how it works. So don't let them tell that lie to you. But you know, we always saving whiteness over here as far as giving America its cultural identity as well as its soundtrack and laugh track. You know, America would not be the same without so-called black people. But it's interesting because I started pondering and I talked to people in the streets, like, you know, I'm just talking to people, random black people. I said, you know, is there any strong black male presence in mainstream media? Is there any strong black masculinity in mainstream media? And a lot of folks will be hard pressed. It's like, who's the greatest rapper? Tupac. Who's the greatest basketball player? Michael Jordan. Greatest entertainer? Michael Jackson. So who is the most masculine black person in mainstream America? Crickets. And don't tell me about actors. Y'all say, well, Samuel Jackson, Denzel Washington, they are actors. They're artists. They're actors. They play roles. I'm talking about a person, a black man who's actually in position to affect public policy. See, they got rid of Dr. King over 50 years ago, like according to Dick Gregory, because he was about to be the first black man in history to be in a position to affect public policy. He was turning people's opinions against the Vietnam War. He was focusing more on not just about integration, but economics. When his emphasis went from trying to integrate hamburger restaurants to try to control economics and try to get reparations for black people, that's when they knocked him off. He wasn't a threat when they were trying to get on a bus or try to integrate a hamburger restaurant. Like to paraphrase Dr. King, what good is it for me to sit in a hamburger restaurant and not afford the hamburger? I can't even afford to eat. I could sit here, but I can't afford to eat. And look at it in 2022. How many of us can afford to eat and keep on a light bill and pay the rent and fill your tank up? So people are hard pressed making these decisions. So you got to think about it. Where we at? In 1968, the economy was in better shape for the majority of the people. You understand? You had a historic economic expansion. So even with Jim Crow and all the discrimination, black folks could find employment. Not only that, black men could be gainfully employed and support a growing family. Those days are non-existent. The days where you can work one job for 30, 40 years and retire on a good ass pension, and your wife can stay at home to raise the kids and send all the kids to college on your one job. Them days are no longer here because you look at the Democratic Party, they sold out the labor movement. You know, the unions are weak and ineffective and all this stuff. And there's a lot of other things to that. But what I'm saying is, you know, we just lost, for example, people talk about Brittany Griner getting sentenced to 9 years in the gulag in Russia. But we just lost Albert Woodfox, who spent almost 42 to 43 years in solitary confinement in Angola down in Louisiana. This man was in solitary confinement for almost 50 years, 23-hour lockdown, and really on suspect BS because allegedly he was in lockdown because he allegedly killed a correction officer. He was a part of a group. He was a Black Panther. It's part of a group called the Angola 3. These were 3 black men who were doing time down in Angola, who were trying to organize the prison population for better living and working conditions. Like they actually were stopping organized sex slavery in the prisons. They were very effective. They helped organize and integrate the prison cafeteria. I had a chance. I want to make sure I got his name right. I got this interview on We All Be TV. I think I got it up, or I just got to put it back up again. But there's a brother named Robert King. I think his name was Robert King. He was part of Angola 3. Let me see. I got his name right. I'll be like, you know, people understand, like when you be doing talking and stuff, sometimes it's best to do your own research. Because sometimes I be getting dates wrong and names off, not because I'm trying to mislead you or be disinformation agent, but because I just be talking about it in my head, there's a lot of stuff I think about. But we gotta get back to wanting to research for ourselves too. Okay, he's still around. Robert King, brother Robert King, 80 years old. Yeah, I interviewed brother Robert King. He was the first in Angola 3 to get out. He got out, I believe, around 2001. He spent almost 30 years in solitary confinement in Angola. And I asked him when I interviewed, I said, so what stopped you from going crazy? He said, what made you think I'm not crazy, Ron? What made you think I didn't lose my mind? Because it's not normal for nobody to be in solitary confinement for the long. We are social creatures. We are social creatures. So what? Hold on. Hey, brother. Hello? Let me see. Got brother Jackson calling me. Hey, bro, Jackson, how you doing? Yeah, we do it for 30. I mean, whatever works best. I mean, your Wi-Fi be okay? Do you want? I could, I guess, meet you and do an interview in person. Then that works. I don't know, cause the Wi-Fi is not. It might go in and out, but I don't know what's your schedule like. Or we just do something else another time. I mean, I don't plan to be. It's 8 o'clock. It happens, man. I didn't think you were being funny. It, oh yeah, so you want me to meet you at Chuckles? Then that'd be fine. Yeah, I mean, I could do. Yeah, I mean, I could do that. You want me to meet you in person, or you just want StreamYard? Yeah, can you hear me? Hello? Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. Well, that was Brendan Jackson having issue with his Wi-Fi connectivity, but we'll get the show one way or the other to you all. But I was talking about Albert Woodfox, and I mean, he was in solitary confinement over here for almost 43 years. And people talk about what they do because America got 25% of the world's prison population, from my understanding. And we got more prisoners here than they do in Russia and China and places like that. Louisiana, one of the places with the highest incarceration rates in the country. But you got all type of political prisoners from the 70s and the 80s still in prison. Not just Mumia Abu Jamal, but so many people. Dr. Matula Shakur got out of prison, I believe, in 2016, somewhere around that time. I think he's still in prison. You got the brother formerly known as H. Rap Brown, who tried to organize his community in Atlanta. He's in prison over some bogus stuff. They claim they killed a sheriff's deputy from Georgia, and that's in dispute because, from my understanding, it was a younger man that confessed to killing the sheriff's deputy, but they blame it on him because he was too effective in organizing and protecting his community in Atlanta. See, we got a lot of brothers and sisters that have actually committed themselves to the service of our people, and we have allowed them to ride in the way in American gulages for decades. They're not even household names among us as a people. And Brittany Gradner, don't get me wrong, she confessed to being guilty of what they charge her of. I know it's probably like a thing where you got to do that in order for the negotiations to go forward. But to me, if Trump was in office, she would have been home. And yeah, y'all still talking about Trump is this and that. But if Trump was in office, he got ASAP Rocky out, who was guilty allegedly. He got that LeVar Ball son, that bald brother, out when he stole stuff from a Gucci store, I believe, in China, one of them high-end stores. He was guilty of stealing stuff, and Trump got him out. Black folks, we still don't understand how to play this political thing. We still don't get it. But it's unfortunate with Brittany Griner, but that's not black folks' fault. Especially like black men fault. Well, name me one black man. Could Benny Thompson get her out? I mean, Benny Thompson trying to get Trump They impeached this man twice. Why didn't they present all this evidence during the second impeachment? I don't understand why they're wasting American taxpayers' time and money over this BS by Jan 6. But you know, he got stuff that's happening in the state of Mississippi. You still got black boys and men hanging from trees in white neighborhoods in Mississippi for the last 20 years. And Benny Thompson ain't raised a stink about that. He more interested about raising catfish in Mississippi than he is about raising hell for the right reasons when it comes to black folks being violated. There's still the unresolved business of what really happened at Camp Van Dorn back in the 40s during World War II. There have been claims that 1,300 to 1,500 black GIs were massacred by U.S. military police and buried in a man-made lake. Now, we know about Lake Lanier. We know about drowned lakes where they drown black towns to make these lakes. So who's to say that didn't happen? The fact that white people from that area who worked on the base, who were they said it happened. These white people, this ain't just black folks. These are white people saying that it happened and that the U.S. government covered up. Why Benny Thompson have stopped it? Because they were investigating it until September 11 happened. So, I mean, I'm still talk about Camp Van Dorn. I'm going to talk about Frederick Jermaine Carter, who was found hanged in a white neighborhood in Greenwood, Mississippi, by the Tallahatchie River, where they found Emmett Till's battered body. Stuff is real. So this is where we at right now as a people. But yeah, we don't even know Albert Woodfox. He just passed away August 4th. That's the birthday of Louis Armstrong and Paul Mooney and Barack Obama. Why didn't President Obama get him out? He was in office for 8 years. Why he ain't say nothing about this? Why nobody didn't bring it to his attention? You see, we voting for these black folks. Black faces in high places don't equate to liberation for the people. Black faces in high places don't equate to liberation for our people. Black faces in high places don't equate for liberation for black people. So this is where we at as a people. So I'm gonna try to figure out Brandon Jackson. He's having technical issues. So we'll try to get him on sometime later and see how it works. But at least the brother called me, let me know he was uploading footage from last night at his show at Chuckles. If you are in Memphis, Tennessee, go to Chuckles Comedy House out in East Tennessee, East Memphis. Like I said, the brother is funny, funnier than I expected him to be. You know, things happen, people. Like anything can happen. Ain't not why did it happen to me? It's like anything can happen at any time. So we will get it out there. But like I said, I've been thinking about Dick Gregory recently. For the last, this month is the 5th anniversary year of him becoming a righteous ancestor. And he told me things, and I share those things with you all that he told. They have now come to pass. These things have come to pass. So, yeah, and other things happen. I had my shirt on, Burt Williams. You go to my Teespring website. Below the description box on YouTube, there's my shelf to my official Teespring. This is my Mr. Nobody shirt. And I was wearing this, looking forward to interviewing Brandon in this shirt. Burt Williams is a comedic genius, a pioneer, really the first black comic superstar. He really created the blueprint for what was to come. But he's not always talked about. I mean, this man's one of the first recording stars. It's Mr. Nobody. He was the first black man in Ziegfeld Follies. Kind of like that was like the Saturday Night Live on Broadway. His white counterparts, they all stole from his act. The Tramp came out of Mr. Nobody. Charlie Chaplin got his idea for the Tramp. Buster Keaton, all these guys got their ideas. Ed Cantor, all these cats got it from Burt Williams. Like W.C. Fields. I'm W.C. Fields. You know what I'm saying? W.C. Fields did the movies with Mae West. He said that Burt Williams was the funniest man he ever saw, but the saddest man he ever knew. Because, like, even though he was famous and had money, they still treat him like he was a nobody. Come on, white people. And he said he ain't sad. He's proud to be a Negro, but sometimes it's an inconvenience because you're dealing with white people. Even though this dude was red and had freckles and red hair, he still wasn't accepted by white people. But he was proud to be a black person, well versed in the history of black people around the planet, had a very extensive library. But when he passed in the early 20s, Langston Hughes actually missed his exam, I think at Columbia, somewhere he was in New York. He went to his funeral instead. That's how much reverence and respect he had for people in the, that black folks in the community had for Burt Williams. He wore blackface. He went by the thing, him and his partner, Walker, I think George Walker, if I'm not mistaken his name. They call themselves the Two Real Coons. It's back in the day where they wore blackface and they call our music coon songs and all that stuff. So they own it, like, kind of like NWA own it, what they owned back in the day. And they stood on it. But, these guys, they did coon, but they also had a love for black people. These guys organized all types of organizations, like the Frogs. He was a member of the Frogs, this black male entertainer organization that raised money for charities in the community back in the day. You had people like James Reese Europe, some of the brightest, best black entertainers giving back to their community. So they wasn't selling out. They sold out at the theater, but they always gave back what they earned to the community. So this is a lesson that's been forgotten about. These were race men. They were proud to be black. They might have made a spectacle of themselves to entertain blacks and whites, but at the end of the day, they were proud to be black and they loved their people and they gave back. So Burt Williams was one of them people like that. So I'm glad that I got breath in my life, my lungs and my body to be able to speak these names of the righteous ancestors for the people. But I guess I'm gonna close it out for right now, because Brandon's having technical difficulties, and hopefully we'll get him on later in the show. And thank y'all for being patient. Like the words from Brother Hurd, please spread the word. We all be TV, all one word. Want to support the movement? Let me know by showing your donation. Do that. What's the greatest nation in the world? Is a do nation. Cash App, $R2C2H2. Or you could Google, Pay, PayPal, and Zelle your support at R2C2H2 at gmail.com. That's R2C2H2 at gmail.com. You can Venmo your support at R2C2H2. And you could, like I said, wear Artemis art. Go down below the video description box to our Teespring shelf to access all the different art I got on t-shirts, and I'll expand that as well. Also buy Artemis art at R2C2H2.com. And let me check out, before I get out of here, check out this. I have no problem with that. Trump don't get the credit that he deserved. Like, even with Taiwan, he stood up to China for the Taiwanese people. Trump did not get us into any major wars. He should have got credit for pulling us out of Afghanistan. Trump kept gas low, kept cost of living low. He did what he could. They actually, created all types of things to get him out of office. And now they're trying to make sure he stay out of office. But Trump, to me, he's the greatest president of my lifetime in terms of the things he was able to do. He said he was going to build a wall. He built the wall. Like I said, he got black celebrities home who were caught up in some situations. I believe Brittany Griner would have got home. She would have been home by now had Trump been in office. The thing about Trump, black folks ain't used to being taken seriously. Trump actually respected black people to a degree that black folks lost their mind. That he actually said with the HBCU presidents gave them money for their schools, instead of them begging every year for funding, that he actually was considering doing something for black people as far as the platinum plan, and he actually took Ice Cube. I mean, I think he took him more seriously than Biden did about contract with Black America. Trump was ready to make a deal. Trump, black celebrities love Trump. Black rappers used to love Trump. They got probably more songs about Trump than anybody else back in the day. And now they act like Trump is the worst thing. Trump didn't do damage to the black community like the policies of Biden have done, like the neglect that Barack Obama has showed the black community while he was in office. I ain't gonna never forget Ferguson, where they allowed chemicals to be sprayed on the protesters. They were outlawed by the Geneva Convention. And yet you had a Democrat that was elected governor, Jay Nixon. You had a black attorney general, and you had a so-called black president in office They ain't say a mumbling word about the police using chemicals on pregnant black women and other people, violated, a Geneva Convention. So what good having blackface in high places and they can't protect your black ass? So I had no problem saying Trump was the greatest president so far in my lifetime. I had no problem with that at all. I was born during the Carter. I was conceived and born during the Carter administration. And I actually like Jimmy Carter. I went down to hear him preach Sunday school down in Plains, Georgia, where he's from. I even took a picture with him and his wife. Jimmy Carter was supposed to be dying from brain cancer back then, and he ended up surviving, and he lost his grandson to some type of heart attack or something. So, I mean, you never know. Jimmy Carter, almost 100 years old, still going. But Trump, and people act like he invented redlining. Trump did not invent redlining. His father did not invent it. They took advantage of it. They business people. Trump told y'all the game was rigged. It is rigged. He didn't say it wasn't rigged in his favor. He knew how to play the game. Majority of us don't have no understanding on how to get anything done. Like I hear people when I said I need something done, if I'm owed some money, people think the only person I'm supposed to talk to is a Democrat. Like I told my mom, I just don't talk to Democrat. I talk to anybody who's in the people's office to get what I need as a person. So I don't care if they're Republican or Democrat or independent. It's not about party. It's about policy. And it's about getting things done. So whoever could get what I need to get, I'm going to come to them. And I'll give them my support. But black folks get emotional about politics. It's all about, I like their smile. I like the way their hair look. I think they're a nice person. What do you know about their politics and policies and points on the issues? It's like I just got through voting in the general election here in Memphis. And I'm gonna tell you something. I left a lot of those election races blank on my ballot. They had gave us almost a 40-page ballot. Majority of the people running for offices I never heard of. I heard of some of the ambulance lawyers and stuff like that. And there's some people I knew who come from very prominent black families with last names of Sugarman and Hooks and stuff like that. And I voted for those people because I actually do something to people. They were good people. And I know they would try to do the right thing in the office, but majority of the people I didn't know. And then they wrote things in a way you couldn't understand. You could be a smart person and you try to read the vote yay or nay or something. You couldn't even understand what you were reading. And it don't mean you're a stupid person, but they write in a way to confuse people. And you know that the public education school education ain't the best by design. They dummy you down to lower your critical thinking and understanding and comprehension. They're not teaching it in school. They're not teaching civics in school. You got people who parents don't know the three branches of government, and they're raising children. They don't know what the three branches of government is because they wasn't taught that. There was no civics or social studies in school. Not anymore. So you telling me that I'm supposed to vote for people I never heard of or their issues, and I don't understand what the hell you asked me to vote yay or nay on. And it was really like, man, I was struggling trying to figure this stuff out. And you got a person that ran for office here that ran by a name that was not legally hers. She had used a last name that was very well recognized in the community, but legally it was not hers. When she filled out her intent to run application, she put this name onto her government name so she could get recognized and people vote. Because a lot of times, like, you look at the movie Eddie Murphy, the Distinguished Gentleman. And the reason why he won was because he had a recognizable name. They recognized his name. I think it was like Jefferson or something like that. And people just voted for him because of his last name, because it was recognizable. So this lady used her mom's married name, and she only married to this guy for about 90 days, and the guy got it annulled. But let me say, her name is Janine Gordon. She's the new juvenile court clerk. But in the primaries, she ran as like Janine Gordon Fully Love or Janine Fully Love Gordon. But according to their laws by the election commission, that the only name that should be on the ballot is the name that you put on your application for your intent to run. That should be the actual name. But she added the Fully Love to her name. Her campaign manager was at a meeting back on February 28th this year, and she said, "Could y'all include her name, Fully Love? You know, that's not her legal name, because they used to call her Little Fully Love. That's what she claimed." And so they okayed it, but they went against what they normally do. Because a guy named Brent Taylor, I think he's over the election commission here. He told a journalist that whatever name she had in her application, that's the name on the ballot. But then he sent an Excel sheet to a journalist and said, well, showed her name was Janine Gordon on her intent to run application. It did not include Fully Love. Because now, you know, you see on ballots, I do see sometimes people will have their nicknames on the ballot in parentheses. But when I went to vote in the general a week ago, the Fully Love was missing from the name. So this is very unethical, you know. And I just wrote in the candidate that came like in third place behind in the primary, Stephanie Gatewood. I may have her on soon, sometime this week. But this is unethical, man. This woman is about to make $20,000 a month, and they let her get away with this. This is very unethical. But this is Memphis. There's a reason why they killed Dr. King in Memphis and not Atlanta. This is Memphis. Like Judge Joe Brown talked about this all the time on the show, about the corruptness of the city, politics, and government. So it is what it is. So what's in the name? Yeah, I don't think it's preschool. I think they take us as a joke. But you also think about the term limit thing. I was against term limits because I believe people have a right to be a fool. If you willing to vote for people that make a fool of you, to take advantage of you, time in and time out, vote for who you want to vote for. I don't believe in term limits at all. I used to believe in that, but why are you going to stop people from being a fool? Everybody plays the fool, no exception to the rule. You know, so yeah, I mean, we fell a long way from Malcolm, the ballot or the bullet. I mean, most of the people complaining about the boomers or the ancestors, whatever, in the 60s, they were more politically astute than we are right now. You know, y'all don't even know the importance of the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party. But what the hell they caught that summer of 64 should be enough in its own to stop supporting Democrats 100% if you're a black person. What they did to Fannie Lou Hamer now, their delegation from Mississippi, should be enough for you to stop supporting the Democrats or the Dixiecrats. You know, Malcolm told us, and we love Malcolm. Malcolm told you about the evils of the white liberal and the Democratic Party. Y'all won't listen. What do you mean no mean yes in term limits? I voted. I don't even know. I ain't even see it on my ballot, man. It was so much stuff because they're talking about retaining and replacing Supreme Court justices. It was so much crap, man. I didn't even see it. I promise. I told you. I don't know where it was on the ballot, and they claim it was on the ballot, but I didn't see it on my ballot. Unless I just blanked out and just started voting. Replace. I don't know where it was at, but I think actually that people didn't. They was against the term limits. They voted against term limits. I don't know. And we'll see. I saw Judge Joe Brown at Chuckles on Friday night. So I guess he's gonna run still. He was with his beautiful nieces. So we'll see. Let's see. Yeah, Brandon Jackson is a very talented person. Yeah. I think what I'm gonna do, he said he'll be available at 5 o'clock. So I'm gonna come back in and we'll see. We'll go from there. But thank y'all for being patient and know that the best is yet to come. Like I said, support the We All Be network. Yeah, I'm familiar with the CERN thing. I mean, like everything's moving fast right now. Time is flying. Like I can't believe that summer is almost over with in September. I can't believe it's August right now. So people like they just knocked down the Georgia Guidestones. And the Georgia Guidestones was a thing, was a structure put in place back in March of 1980 by an unknown secret group. And it was like the 10 commandments for the New World Order, where their goal was to get the population down to 500 million people. And they gave you like the 10 commandments for the New World Order, how to live your life going forward. It was like in several different languages. And I went there back in May of 2018. I'm gonna do a show about that to break that down. And mission accomplished. It seemed like, you talking about Agenda 21 and stuff like that. Then you got this thing with disclosures about UFOs and alien space technology and all this. People like Elon Musk is trying to go to space and been trying to get to Mars. And he named his company after Nicholas Tesla. I think it's Nicholas Tesla, the scientist, who said he got a lot of his information knowledge from communicating with aliens. So we'll see. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. I'm very familiar with stuff like that, but there's a lot that goes over people's head because people are more concerned about, the Cowboys going to win the Super Bowl and what the Lakers going to do, and KD and all this other. I mean, this stuff is just BS. It's not even important at the end of the day. I mean, Islam, and Muslims were involved in the slave trade. That's another story. Well, whatever works for you, whatever makes you a better person, a better family man, or whatever woman, go for it. I'm not against it. So you think, I don't know, because I looked on the lab, I couldn't find it. And, at the end of the day, I don't know, man. The voting thing is the least important political tool in the belt. I believe it's more important to get our money organized together and to start creating super PACs and lobbying groups. Get empowered to put people in place to create policy that best serve our interests. That's where we need to go right now, because some of the most powerful people in the world, they don't vote. They just write big checks that don't bounce. It's not about the vote. And also, your politician is not a leader. They're a representative of the interests of the people or entity that put them there. They're not the leaders. Whoever put them in that position, they're the leaders. And they don't need our vote or our say so. Well, right now, I saw at Dick Gregory's funeral, I met who is Secretary of Defense for Bill Clinton. I think his name William Cohen, Secretary of Defense. That Bill Clinton's guy was William Cohen. I guess I be saying stuff in my head, man. I don't be researching all. I research, but a lot of times I get dates wrong. Like Eddie Knoll, I kept on saying that it was the New Year's of 1950. It was the second weekend of New Year's, I think January 9th. Well, it is what it is. Yeah, William Cohen. I met William Cohen doing Dick Gregory's homegoing in Maryland back in September 2017. William Cohen said that they had the capability to affect the weather. This is back in the 90s. He said that. And really, they had this for decades, the ability to manipulate the weather. So, I mean, they could create thunderstorms. They even use like HAARP, use vibrations to create earthquakes. Like people believe the earthquake in Haiti back in 2010 was created to a device like HAARP or something like that, using vibrations, frequencies. It's a lot of interesting stuff they do. So, I mean, they had like a thing called the heart attack gun, where they use sound waves to induce heart attacks in people. This is back in the 50s. I mean, they got all types of stuff they do. So no such thing as a natural death to me. But yeah, it's something to consider. Yeah, I ain't community fun, but I don't think everybody in the community need to have a voice. I believe, like, you look at who really run, the majority don't run anything. Like, you look at Memphis. Memphis is not a poor town. It's one of the poorest big cities, but it's not really poor. It's engineered poverty, meaning that you got Fortune 500 companies stationed in Memphis, corporations. You got Fred Smith, the founder of FedEx, a billionaire. He lives inside the city limits. And you're the distribution hub of the country. Everything runs through Memphis. You got the world's second largest cargo airport, but the majority of the people are struggling. Like I said, you got a juvenile court clerk. She about, from my understanding, makes $20,000 a month. You know, you got people surviving on $20,000 a month in Memphis for a whole year. The working poor, it's a temp city, but everything by design, they don't want to empower the majority of the people here. That's why the educational expectations are so low in Memphis. You look at you could contrast that with Nashville, which is just 3 hours away. Nashville is the capital of Tennessee. It's known as the Athens of the South because there's so many learning and research facilities in Nashville. Nashville is booming. If you go back 60 years ago, Memphis was on the same tier as Nashville, Dallas, and Atlanta. 60 years later, all those cities have surpassed Memphis. And it's by design because it's a plantation town. And hopefully, like what Judge be talking about on my show, it's not a lot of hot smoke. Get this stuff done because Memphis should be a booming city right now. Because just based on the location of where we get along, we're just 2 to 8 to 10 hours away from where you want to be if Memphis ain't your thing. But you can have a comfortable existence and living in Memphis. But also, it's not just about being comfortable. It's about quality in terms of quality of life issues here in Memphis. A lot of stuff could be resolved. Like young people, there's no place for young people to go. They closed down the basketball courts. They got rid of Liberty Land and Crystal Palace. A lot of these places that normal kids can go to be a kid, they are non-existent. And so they're criminalizing our kids. That's one reason why Amy Warwick lost against Steve Mulroy. I think that's the guy's name who's going to be the new DA. Because, I mean, you crucifying black youths. You sending them up the river as adults, and black folks think it's okay. Now, let's put them in a job training program or bring back the vocational trades. There's a lot of things that be done, but we're leaving our kids behind. Emphasize STEM, bring back vocational training. They took that out of the schools. So I mean, there's a lot of things you can do to help these young people besides throwing them away and giving them football numbers in prison and making them better criminals. So there's things that could be done, but the people got to have the will to do it and the vision to work towards the manifest. That's key. Definitely key. And so, been on for 47. I might have to rename this, or maybe I just keep on going. Let me see my call, Brother Brandon. Keep calling, but maybe I can stay on the air. Yeah, but such is life. Hey, Brandon, you said you could do it at 5 o'clock. You said 5:30. Okay, that's fine. I'll just send you another link. All right, sir. Okay. Yeah, so I guess this was a pre-show to the show. So I'm gonna wrap it up. Like I said, y'all can donate if you want to. Got a couple of shows I got lined up, with some people. So I want to talk about. This is Black August. It's like the third Black History Month. You look at, people say Black History Month is only 28 days or 29 days every, when it's a leap year. But it's really every day. But I'm claiming these days is Black History Month. These months, rather, like, not just February, but you got June. That's Black Music Month. And you got Black August. A lot of revolutionary things and people and great people were born in the month of August. It went down in August, the Haitian Revolution, March on Washington, 63, Emmett Till kidnapping and lynching, birth of Louis Armstrong, Paul Mooney, birth month. You got Kobe, Dave Chappelle born this month, Marcus Garvey born this month. That Turner Rebellion started in August. The list goes on and on and on. Michael Jackson, Charlie Parker, Dinah Washington, Albertina Walker, all born August 29th. Fred Hampton, born August 30th, I believe. The great Lester Young, born in the month of August, one of the greatest jazz musicians. I think his son is the top educated policymaker in the state of New York. So, I mean, I don't look at Black folks and people, it's a tragedy. It's on a tragedy when they forget that you existed. When you stop calling out their names and researching them and honoring them, that's the tragedy. We lost Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther, right? Month of August. There's a lot of things have been going down to August. August the 4th also, when they recovered the bodies of Michael Sherner, Andrew Goodman, and James Chaney out of Neshoba County, Mississippi, in the Earthen Dam. They were discovered on August the 4th, which is also the birthday of Barack Obama. But there's a lot of things about August. So, what we're going to do a couple of shows about, events that happen in August, about Black people in general, but also events that happen in August. Definitely want to do a show about the Houston race insurrection of 1917 or race war of 1917. The 24th Infantry, they were railroaded by the government, denied due process. Basically, they was lynched by the government. And now, over 100 years later, the government's saying it's our bad. We want to exonerate them or pardon them on whatever they're doing. But now they're getting the recognition that they were not deserters of the military. They did not mutiny against the government. They was actually protecting themselves and Black people in the city of Houston. So really, they was on the right side of history, but they've been railroaded. If you look at Roots, the Next Generation TV show, there's a scene of the 24th Infantry being hung. They walking up to the gallows and they were hung. And a lot of people don't know that history. Because when I hear people talking about, well, I'm not my ancestors, I'm saying you better wish you were your ancestors, because they really fought back. You're not getting the right details of the history. Like, Black folks should know about A.L.L as much as we know about Emmett Till. Like, I took the time to interview A.L.L, who wrote a book called The Time of A.L.L, based on what A.L.L did the year before Emmett Till was lynched. This happened in the same Mississippi where Emmett Till was lynched, where a Black man who was a crack shot and a World War II veteran took on the white power establishment and won. He didn't get lynched. He didn't get hanged or electrocuted. He won. Well, he got electroshock therapy, but he won. He beat it. And we don't talk about that. That should be common knowledge by A.L. And as much as we talk about Emmett Till, that's sad, but look what the A.L. did the year before. He killed, not only killed a business owner, he killed a sheriff's deputy and a white man in a posse looking to hang him or lynch him, excuse me. But look up A.L. And I got that on We All Be TV, the whole interview I did with A.L. about 10 years ago. It's available for you all. So I'm doing, it's good to talk. I guess it's good to talk about this gospel stuff that we like to talk about, but let's put some substance to what we talk about as well, too. That's very important, to have substance. It's very important. So, forgive me if I get names, I mispronounce names or get dates wrong. It's not by intent. I'm a human being. I'm trying to encourage you, to point you in the right direction. I may not get you to the right house. I can get you in the right zip code. You look for the right house on your own, but I'll get you in the area where you need to be in terms of my abilities. But very important to talk about things. And because we're going to do critical race theory. I can't do critical race theory when I'm always the victim. I can't do that. You don't talk about the East St. Louis race massacre of 1917. Talk about the Houston race war of 1917. If you're going to talk about Emmett Till, talk about A.L. Hell, talk about Herman Perry, the guy who was out in the jungles of Asia. They gave them white folks a fit out there. Man, ended up being a part of a headhunting tribe. The chief was so impressed with him, the chief offered his teenage daughter as his bride, ended up having a kid or whatever with the girl. And they end up hanging him. This happened back in 45. This is, I think, the same year Emmett Till fought. I believe I got the date mistaken. I think I said he was hanged in March 45. Emmett Till father was hanged July 2nd, 1945, denied his due process as well. Him and his co-defendant, Freddie McMurray. See, we should also try to get them to pardon Louis Till, Emmett's father, because they use that as a reason for not to charge these white dudes, these devils, with kidnapping him and eventually murdering him. They used that. Oh, his father was this. They railroaded his father too. He was a proud Black man who didn't take mess off of people. Like even Memphis Till talked about before he joined the service, how he stood his ground at this local restaurant where they lived at, because the guy said they can't serve colors, and he said, "You gonna serve me?" And the dude left him alone, and they served him. So he was a proud black man. He was a boxer and all this stuff. Look him up. A brother wrote a book about him. But it's a lot of stuff to this stuff. But we got to have a balance when we talk about things. We should, like I said, there's a lack of black masculinity in mainstream life. There's no strong black man standing on anything. Don't tell me about no actors. Y'all keep on thinking entertainers supposed to be revolutionaries. They're not. They're court jesters. Like Malcolm said, there's no disrespect to them, but they know their role. Thank you so much, Dodge J. We love you madly. Trying to, man, while I still can, while they still let me on this platform. You know, they shut down Alex Jones and other people. But I appreciate y'all for listening, tuning in, and tuning out to tune in to get in where you fit in. How about that? Yeah, the Memphis Massacre, 1866. I'm right across the street from one of the epicenter of that happened. It happened near the Lorraine Motel. And you had black U.S. color troops facing out with the police here in Memphis, mostly Irish policemen. And you know, the thing about it is all your riots and massacres happen because of some type of police misconduct. It happened because of some type of police misconduct. That's American history. That's not nothing. The police are the reason a lot of these riots and massacres happen. So, you know, that led to Reconstruction. That 10-year window where black folks excelled. They held office, thriving businesses and whatnot. But Robert Church Sr., who was considered the first black millionaire of the South, he was shot point blank range in his saloon on Beale Street during the Memphis Race Massacre. Ended up testifying before Congress about what happened. Because when they used the Memphis Race Massacre, white folks burned down schools and churches, raping women, children, burning people up in homes, shooting people indiscriminately. And nothing was done about it. And U.S. color troops, they were stationed, I think it was Fort Pickering. One of the fort, they were not allowed to leave the fort. But all this stuff started because of the tensions between the U.S. color troops and the white police officers. Like the Houston Race Massacre or riot of 1917 started because the 24th Infantry had issues or beef with the Houston Police Department. They were there terrorizing black people in Houston. And what happened, what caused that incident was because it was a black woman named Sarah Travers. She was beaten up in her home, dragged out, beaten up real bad by the Houston police. Was I think an infantryman named Charlie Baltimore who tried to intervene. They beat him up real bad. His brothers of the 24th thought he was dead. They thought, because they were hearing rumors that he was killed and that white folks were going to march on Camp Logan, where they were stationed there outside of Houston, that white folks were coming to Camp Logan to kill them. And so they got their guns and they marched on Houston and started shooting up everybody. They shoot up everybody. They killed about 5 white police officers and 11 white civilians and injured some more. And they did what they had to do to protect themselves because they took an oath to protect the United States against enemies, both foreign and domestic, and mob violence is a form of terrorism. But yet in the media, they portrayed them as mutineers and traitors to the country. No, they fulfilled their duty as countrymen to protect and defend the civilians, black people. Black folks never had a militia in this country. We needed one. You know, every time we got lynched, nobody would answer for us. When they used to kill or lynch immigrants from other countries, the government would have to pay reparations to their country of origin. There's nobody to answer for when black folks get disrespected. And that's what Malcolm was trying to do when he was going to Africa. He was trying to bridge a connection with Africa and black Americans. So we'll have that back up because you had black delegates from Africa quoting Malcolm X at the United Nations. And the government said, we can't have that. How is this guy influencing the Africans? They tried to kill Malcolm several times while he was over in Africa. They food poisoned him, had his stomach pump and everything. They denied him entrance into France. Right before he died, he had to go back to America because the French government knew that he was on his way getting killed. They didn't want him to get killed in France. So there's a lot of stuff, but the Memphis Race Massacre led to the Reconstruction era. That's a singular event that caused the Reconstruction period where black folks excelled, and then we were sold out by the Republicans and the Democrats. They sold us out because they made a deal when there was people contested the election results who going to be president back in 1876. So they pulled all the federal troops out the South. And that was that. They sold us out. And we never been, because black folks, they know that if we had equal footing as they do, we would excel, because the most skilled labor class coming out the Civil War were black people. We was the most skilled labor force because of like enforced slavery. And you had unions were formed to keep black folks from being gainfully employed. That's the history. That's how unions started in this country, were to keep black skilled men from being employed. Well, they haven't started anything. They're going through the process. It's a process they doing. They hoping these folks die. These last 3 survivors, they still around. They got $1 million donation from an organization, I believe, of New York, but they're going through the courts. The wheels of justice turn slowly, if at all. We'll see how that play out. Yeah, Chicago 1919, but they never talk about Washington, D.C. 1919. See, I'm talking about the ballots. We're going to do critical race theory. They talk about the victories as well as the defeats. Victim and victor goes hand in hand. But you got the Washington riot or race war of 1919, where you had white military people like soldiers, Marines, Army, and Navy terrorizing black people in D.C. And President Woodrow Wilson wouldn't do nothing. He allowed these white military guys, even the D.C. police, like I said, a lot of these riots and massacres are started by police misconduct. So you had the Washington, D.C. police, along with U.S. white military men, terrorizing black people in D.C. proper. Dr. Carter G. Woodson was so afraid. He was on his way home when he saw a black man lynched before his eyes. He was hiding in an alley or somewhere when he saw a black man actually lynched. This is the father of black history, the second black man to get a PhD from Harvard University. He's witnessed a black man being lynched by a white mob. And what happened was the black folks said enough was enough. This, you had World War I veterans that knew about warfare and strategy and stuff like that, military strategy. So you had school teachers. They were getting guns from the gun shops and bullets and ammo from Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. They started getting on buildings and sniping white folks in the streets. You had black folks doing drive-bys on white mobs in the street. And you were school teachers and veterans getting involved and kicking white folks' ass. And then Woodrow Wilson said, timeout. Once the black people started fighting back, Woodrow Wilson said, timeout. And so they don't talk about that because they always begin the Red Summer with the Chicago race riot or massacre of 1919. When they let that black boy get on the beach, he drowned. I guess he got a cramp or something like that. He drowned. He couldn't get on the beach. But go to D.C. That's when it really started. They'll never talk about when black folks whooped them white folks' ass. I mean, these were military guys. They were fighting. Even with the Tulsa thing, they don't talk about how the black men were winning. You had survivors that gave testimony. Let's go on YouTube and different websites. You had people that was actually there as kids. They said, well, the black people, we were winning because our black men were fighting. These were World War I veterans. These not just like these guys fought for Uncle Sam. They fought overseas. They seen a lot. They said enough is enough, and they fought back. Because people forget you had an armed group of black men go to the prison to protect the black guy who allegedly touched a white girl in the elevator. They went as men, and they were fighting back. They killed so many white people. It was said that the white folks hid the casualties by dumping the white people bodies into the Arkansas River. The Arkansas River is known for having quicksand. So we had a lot of white people getting killed and were dumped in the river to cover up the casualties. Yeah, they killed a whole bunch of us, but we took a lot through it. You understand that Tulsa thing only was like a 24-hour thing. And what happened is that when the black man surrendered, had my mic on here. So when they surrendered to other law enforcement, so-called law enforcement, that's when Black Wall Street was lost. That's when they was able to burn down the Greenwood, burn it down to the ground because the black men turned themselves into the so-called law. See, we had more respect for their laws than they did. So they turned themselves in, they put them in concentration camps. That's what happened to Black Greenwood. That's why they got burnt out, because the black men surrendered, thinking that they were getting themselves into the law. You know, nobody got paid insurance for losing their businesses and homes and their people. And it's sad to this day that there are a lot of black people buried underneath the street of Tulsa, by the cemetery, Oak Lawn. They got a mass grave over there in Oak Lawn Cemetery. And they say it actually extends beyond the cemetery into the streets where they got streets paved. So we don't know how many black folks got killed, but I can definitely think it was more than 300. And you know, the most prominent black person killed was Dr. Andrew C. Jackson from Memphis. He was like the greatest black surgeon of his time, according to the Mayo brothers, who founded the Mayo Clinic. And his white neighbor was a former police commissioner and judge named John Oliphant. And John Oliphant approached a white mob. He said, "Don't harm this man." Basically, he's a very important man. And they killed him anyway. They killed him in cold blood because he was surrendering. And they killed him in cold blood. I believe it was a 14-year-old white kid that killed him. And John Oliphant and them couldn't identify who did it, but it was white people that killed this man. The man was a prominent surgeon. They still use tools that he invented in surgery to this day. So it was a brilliant mind. He was born February 1879 in Memphis. So I always think about Andrew C. Jackson, Dr. Andrew C. Jackson, because, like, you know, the black man that was killed in Tulsa, Dr. on June the 1st this year. And that was horrible that he got killed like that in that mass shooting. But 101 years ago on that day, we lost one of the greatest surgeons America has ever known. Dr. Andrew Jackson, because of mob violence in Tulsa. So much was lost. But what people don't talk about is that Tulsa did bounce back. Greenwood did bounce back. You got to think about it. They didn't get no insurance payouts. The people that lost everything didn't get any insurance payouts. They had to build that from the mud. They had to build that back up from the mud. And they came back booming and thriving during the Great Depression. See, we don't never talk about, we all know, oh, they did this. We so victimized. And yeah, we took a lot of crap, but we always bounced back. We always been resilient. So what they finally did was they started doing urban renewal. They got rid of Jim Crow, so black folks can move around, more mobility. I can get away from black people finally. I don't have to be with my people. I can just get away from them now and go spend my money with white people, live among white folks. The same white folks, people who burnt me out and raped and killed my people, we want to live among them, their descendants. Weird. But then they built that expressway through Greenwood. Then they stopped them from building buildings at a certain height. That's how they get rid of Tulsa. It was a systemic genocide. There was like one event that happened, the Black Wall Street Massacre, but it was systemic ethnic cleansing that happened, systemic genocide. And there's a good movie called Banished, a documentary came out in the early 2000s on PBS. Somebody uploaded it on YouTube. Y'all should check it out because, you know, people talk about Lake Lanier, how it was formed over Oscarville. It's a man-made lake, but it was formed over a black town named Oscarville that was ethnically cleansed back in 1912, September 1912. They got rid of the black folks out of Forsyth County in Georgia because they claimed that these 3 black men raped and killed this white woman named May Crow. So white folks use that as justification to get rid of all the black people in Forsyth County. And Lake Lanier is outside of Atlanta. So they made their town into a lake back in the mid 20th century, I believe. It's named after a general. Let me see something. Issues. It's named after the general or a Confederate soldier. I don't know if he was a general named Sidney Lanier. So we had a lot of deaths over the years. Over almost 700 people have died in that lake or connected to injuries sustained from that lake. You know, Usher lost his god or his stepson, who was, I think, 13 in a boating accident on that lake due to complications from a boating accident. So you got all this going on, right? But that documentary Banished talking about sundown towns. It talks about how white folks drove black folks out of towns around America, especially in the Midwest and the South, based on some type of rape accusation. It's crazy, but it's worth looking at. It's called Banish. And the reason why I bring up that Lake Lanier, you look at Forsyth County in the documentary. This is an elder black woman. She's almost 100 years old. She was a child when her family had to leave Forsyth County back in the day, I think around 1912. She was just a child, and she never been back. I don't think she ever went back, but she always wondered what happened to the land. So her grandson and the family took a trip up there, and the land where her father owned, even the family cemetery, is owned by some white people, I believe. And the cemetery was such disarray, they had to clean up the cemetery when their ancestors are buried. But then they went down to City Hall to get the land deed records, right? And I'm surprised they still had the land deed records in his name. It showed them, the land deed showed who he brought the land from. But there's a huge gap of where after he left, after he was forced to leave, he left almost 40 acres of land in Forsyth County. When he was forced to leave, there's a gap, and then some other group of people or family brought the land, whatever, and now it's in the hands of white people. They go back to where the area where her father owned all the land. They got these $6-7 million homes. I mean, 6-7 figure homes and a golf course and stuff. It's beautiful out there. We got these big homes and a golf course on land that her father owned, but he was forced to give up. And I think they call that adverse possession, where when a person leaves something behind and a person move on that property, if they keep it, if they stay on that property long enough, it legally becomes theirs. So the white man who's the lawyer of the town, who also was on a committee trying to figure out if they could do anything to appease the former black owner's family of property in Forsyth County, he actually was responsible for selling the land to the current owners. And he was saying that, hey, they could have came back anytime to claim their property. They never did. I'm saying H got a scene in the documentary from 1980s where Reverend Hosea Williams, Dr. King's one of his trusted lieutenants, he brought a black and white group to Forsyth County to have a peace love march through the county, and all the skinheads and neo-Nazis and Klansmen and white supremacists, they all showed up throwing beer bottles and rocks and everything, bricks at these people. And you had to call out the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. They called in the state troopers, and they were trying to keep the white folks from killing these folks. This is back in the 80s. So for the white man to say that they could always came back to the county to reclaim the land, he's full of crap. He's being very disingenuous. And then the white folks always say, well, what can we do about it? That's the history. The past is the past. I mean, money ain't going to solve it. How come you ain't going to be, why don't you give back the land? Why don't y'all compensate them? But I mean, white folks always make excuses why they can't do the right thing. Like with the Carolyn Bryant thing, they knew where she was at. Black activists looking in North Carolina, they already tipped her off about that. That's why they moved her to Kentucky. You saw the Daily Mail and gave her exact location. They said she's somewhere in Kentucky. See, white folks will protect their devils and monsters to the last breath. They always hiding people that you thought was dead. They still around. They still around. I remember Dave Chappelle did one of his specials. I love Dave Chappelle. Sometimes he gets his information wrong. But it's all good. I mean, Dave Chappelle, he's in the right ballpark with stuff. But I know he said in one of his specials he did earlier for Netflix that she was dead. No, she wasn't dead. Who was dead was a former sister-in-law, Juanita Bynum. I think Juanita Malum or something like Juanita. He said that Carolyn Bryant was dead. She wasn't dead. Even Taraji P. Henson was saying that she was dead. This is back in maybe 2017 or 2018. No, Carolyn Bryant been alive. Her sister-in-law passed several years ago. And that's an interesting story. But there is so much stuff going on right now. And people need to get hip and aware and wake up. Because like Dick Gregory said, playtime is over. Not just newspaper, the government, everybody agreed that this is hush hush. See, it's not just as simple as the newspaper saying that. Because the media is powerful now. Like you go back to the Washington Race Massacre or Race War of 1919, during the Red Summer of 1919. It was the Washington Post and papers like that igniting a race riot atmosphere. Just like in Tulsa, the newspaper was used to ignite a race riot massacre. Just like in Wilmington in 1898. Just like in it's like white people are weird and they document all their stuff, and sometimes they throw away their stuff, but it's interesting. They didn't receive an insurance payout because they didn't want to give them no insurance payout, and that's just to it. That's the way. They never want to pay for what they do to us. That's the problem. And really, we don't have no strong, we don't have no entity backing us up. Like I said, if we had a country outside of America, an entity outside of America behind us, we will get more things done. Because when they used to lynch immigrants here, they would have to pay out their place of origin. Their country of origin got a payout from the government. So when black folks get killed like this, we don't have nobody to stand up for us in these systems that they have. And so that's the problem. And we don't have no political representation. There are no type of people helping black people. I mean, everybody's a protected class except for black people, like Beyonce removing spies out of her song. Why? You gotta remove all these lyrics, you offend people. I mean, but black folk be called B's and H's, and black women, black people are disrespected all the time in music, and it's just expression. But when it comes to other groups of people, they protect it. It's like with Tigger, the rapper, the Mexican American community alleged out in LA, they're offended by his recent video. But y'all ain't seen nothing about Eminem and D12. And y'all always making fun of black people. Everybody make fun of black people. And really, they should still get, I think that's interesting you say that, because now it's acknowledged as a massacre. They should go back and get those insurance companies to pay out. One of the last things that Johnny Cochran was working on was reparations for the Tulsa Race Massacre victims and their families. That was one of the last things he was working on, and then he died of brain cancer allegedly. But we don't have, we don't have Johnny Cochran no more. We have Ben Crumps. And I'm not knocking Ben Crump. I'm not one of the people that say he lose all the time. Ben Crump is playing his position like Damon Green. He do what he can do, where he can do it at. He do what he can. I don't blame this on Ben Crump. Ben Crump actually gets the job done for the families. He brings attention. Like he said in the Netflix documentary, he brings attention. Like he uses his status to bring attention to things that don't get a lot of attention. And he do the deals that's best for the family. At that time, I don't knock him for that. I don't hate the player, I hate the game. But Ben Crump is not Johnny Cochran. We had some of the best, and we lose them. Like, Barack Obama ain't Fred Hampton singing. Jesse Jackson ain't Fred Hampton singing. But Al Sharpton ain't Jesse Jackson. See, I make a difference between Jesse and Al, because, it is, Jesse did actually done things that have impacted the quality of black life for the better, for the most part. And he has his flaws like a lot of people. Jesse, you got to look at, go back to the Gary Black Political Convention of 1972. They got the documentary online. You look at it on YouTube. Jesse was well respected by Dr. Betty Shabazz. I think she introduced him to the crowd. I'm not mistaken. Coretta was there. A lot of the black, black who's who of Black America was there at Gary, Indiana. Excuse me. That's the birthplace of the Jackson 5, Michael Jackson's hometown. Had a black mayor. It was Gary Hatcher. Is that his name? I'm not looking it up. Y'all correct me later on. But Jesse was the man at that point. This is 72. And he ran for president. And people make fun of Jesse, but give the man his due. That's a lot of things. It's a pros and cons to Jesse. Whatever. That's everybody, anybody. I just got a different way of looking at people. Yeah, but we got to learn how to play that political game too. We got to get some legalese. We got to learn how to speak legalese as well too. I want to remove it because I think it's ridiculous, because black folks have always been the butt of people jokes. But yeah, everybody use our struggle as the blueprint for their to be able to advance. Everybody has used our blueprint. You go back to the 60s, black people have got civil rights for not only black people, but for gay people, for women, for handicapped people. They all use black folks, our struggle and our sacrifice as a blueprint for their access to the American dream. And it's time to call people out to reclaim receipts. Like even with the immigrant African, we advocated for them to be here. But yet you want to look down on us? I ain't talking about all of them, but Marcus Garvey was a nobody. No disrespect to Marcus Garvey. He was a nobody in Jamaica. He became somebody in America because of Black Americans. He couldn't do that in Jamaica. He had to do it here with Black America. We made him who he was. It's like when Busta Rhymes talk about Jamaica. Jamaica didn't invent Caribbeans didn't invent no hip hop. Because if you invent hip hop, where's your James Brown? Where's the Jamaican James Brown or the Caribbean Marvin Gaye or Curtis Mayfield or Aretha Franklin? They don't exist. Bob Marley wanted to be Sam Cooke. And Bob Marley ain't the greatest singer, but he wanted to be Sam Cooke. He wanted to be like the American singers. Jackie Wilson, come on, man. Nobody who got those type of people in their culture. Nobody but us. Hip hop exists because of James Brown's music. Most sample artists in hip hop history, from my understanding. And you think about, even look at them cats back in the day. Now you look about what Tupac, they say Tupac ain't lyrical. Tupac is lyrical. Same folks who say Tupac ain't lyrical believe that Louis Armstrong couldn't sing or that Thelonious Monk couldn't play no piano. You tone deaf, man. These cats, but you think about, I remember when I listened to Eric Sermon, Just Like Music. What made that powerful was because he sampled Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye put his heart and soul in his stuff. He put his life into what he did. You listen to Curtis Mayfield, David Ruffin, Dennis Edwards, all them guys go on and on and on. They put their heart and soul into their music. They breathed life into those lyrics. Like Tupac, he put his heart into what he was talking about. That's why can you feel me? You can feel Tupac 20-something, 30 years later. His stuff still go hard. For people to say that it's not lyrical, look what, his mama from North Carolina. People come out of Florida and stuff like that. North Carolina come from the heart and the soul. But they got a lot of soulless music now. A lot of soulless music. But I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm just saying it's time for Black Americans to start presenting the receipts to other people. You don't make us, we made y'all. People come on here telling me, y'all can't get ahead. I said, because, you got redlining. You got discrimination that's systemically acceptable. Now, you talk about Roe v. Wade. What's Roe v. Wade when you were sterilizing black women without their consent for decades? Fannie Lou Hamer was the 20th child of her parents, the number 20. She wanted children, and the state of Mississippi sterilized her without her consent. They took away her right to reproduce. So I know stories of people that have their rights to reproduce took away after they became teenage moms. They were sterilized after they gave birth to an inconvenient child without their consent. You had women out of California recently being sterilized by the state. Where do you think Hitler got the idea for what he was doing to them Jews and other people back in the 30s and 40s? He got it from America. It's a white American businessman that supported Hitler. Henry Ford made vehicles for Hitler. Prescott Bush, the Bush patriarch, all these cats, Wall Street cats, they helped invest into Nazi Germany. So, what is war? We just running a fool's errand. But exactly. Well, Busta Rhymes, I like Busta Rhymes and Biggie. They both got Jamaican roots, but they got it from us, though. They talk about DJ Kool Herc, but no, this stuff came from us because everything comes to New York to be amplified. I can't say anything really invented in New York. Hip hop, whatever, but everything comes to New York, one of them places where the world comes to you. So everything comes through there. it's like a transient culture, whatever. It's like everything comes through that mishmash. It's like jazz and stuff. People talk about New Orleans, but there's a lot of places where a lot of great jazz musicians come from throughout the country, Memphis included. But it's who telling the story and who gains from the profit of the telling of the story a certain way. Who gains from the profiting of the telling of the story from a certain perspective. But Biggie also, his mentor, Jegna, was a master jazz musician from New Orleans named Donald Harrison, who was a neighbor, a great saxophonist from New Orleans, who was a member of the great Art Blakey and the Jazz Messenger jazz band. That was his mentor. Because you listen to Biggie, like Shock G broke it down beautifully. He was emphasizing like a jazz, he was like phrasing like a jazz musician playing a horn. Like the way Biggie did his phrasing and flow was like a jazz musician blowing a horn. And his mentor or his master Jegna was Donald Harrison. Because he thought he was going to end up being a jazz musician. So like Biggie, he used drums. And, you think about Marvin Gaye and Teddy Pendergrass. They both were exceptional drummers. They not only could sing like nobody's business, but they also knew how to play the drum. So they helped in how they place in space and stuff, accentuate certain things. Same thing with Biggie. This Biggie is like listening to a jazz musician blow a horn. Or even drums, the way he did stuff. So, so still the American influence is there. And somebody say he stole his flow from Memphis, Mississippi musician. I haven't looked into that. Like talking about Biggie got his rap style from a Mississippi musician, but also Biggie borrowed from Tupac. A lot of how Biggie he got this stuff from Tupac. See, people always want to diminish Tupac like contribution to the culture, and it's very vast. You know what I'm saying? Tupac is like when you talk about who's the greatest rapper, you got to compare him up to Tupac. How do we measure up to Tupac? Tupac is the rapper. In terms like he had the look, the charisma, the style, the origin story. He just had the fire. Tupac is Tupac, and his songs still hold up today. And he had stuff that came out almost 30 years ago, still hold up. Discography is great. Tupac is up there with everybody. You know what I'm saying? He's my number one. And I got Jay-Z at number 2. And I got Ice Cube at number 3. I got Scarface at number 4. I got Biggie at number 5. I got Rakim and Nas at number 6. Go on and on. But this is how I look at it. Tupac had everything. People say he's not lyrical. What y'all listen to? Y'all, you saying folks say Miles Davis couldn't blow a trumpet. Well, Miles Davis, but he ain't Clifford Brown, he ain't Fess Navarro, he ain't Lee Morgan, but he's Miles Davis. It's interesting. Yeah, it's now balanced. Even Curtis Mayfield, when he did the track or the soundtrack for Superfly, he still had message music that he did with the impressions and other things. He had anthems for the civil rights movement. It is a lack of balance right now, and therein lies the problem. And these rappers know what they're doing. They know they made a deal with the devil, and they casting spells on people. Because Kanye, and people keep on talking about Kanye crazy. Kanye winning. Kanye stay winning. I got 6 billion reasons why Kanye stay winning. And what Kanye talked about on Drink Champs, how the certain vibrations and frequencies, how they use that to control people, and that's true. Because even you listen to like I said, what makes like the rap music today is like a lot of music, like R&B is dead. It's soulless. 90s was incredible for R&B music, but like right now, they try to put a white face on it too. It's dead. But when you go back, the guys put heart and soul, but Clive Davis helped destroy music back in the 80s, from my understanding. Went from being, even think about D'Angelo, what he tried to do. People think he's crazy, but, they'll drive you crazy because he had something. He was going back to the live instrumentation. And, His thing was, don't look at me as a piece of meat. Open your ears, close your eyes, and open your ears. How does it feel? But when he did the How Does It Feel video, it showed you the carnal desires of the people. But he's a musician. It's not about how he looked, it's about how the music sounds. And so you think about D'Angelo, what he was able to do, and they drive him crazy. Like even Lauryn Hill, when she went to the Vatican and called out the hypocrisy of the Vatican, people thought Lauryn Hill was crazy, but she was telling the truth. But you pay a price for telling the truth in a system built on lies and deception. Well, there's music making. There's the business of music, and then there's the business of music making and the business of profiting off the music. So a lot of the greatest music makers don't make the most money in the music business. The folks with the least talent makes the most money in the music business. They own the publishing, the masters, things like that, So, I mean, it's fascinating. You think about Louis Armstrong. Think about Louis Armstrong. People don't understand the greatness of Louis to this day, where you had white gangsters fighting for him in Chicago, New York. They was fighting to control his career. He had to go to Europe for a while. He went to Europe to escape the mob in America, and he finally ended up with a guy named Joe Glazier, who was a manager for not only Louis Armstrong, for Billie Holiday, and also he was the mentor for Clarence Avant. That's his name, the Black Godfather. That was his mentor. But he was part of the Jewish mob, out of Chicago, Al Capone gang, connected, all that stuff. But Louis Armstrong told this story to Queen Elizabeth II at a dinner. And I saw this on a documentary, Tony Bennett. I think he said he was there, but he told it. I think it was Tony Bennett that told it. Somebody told it, but I actually read an account of it before. And Queen Elizabeth asked, Louis, how did you become a musician or entertainer? He said, this is what I did. I said, I talked to my man, Black Benny. He's a bass drum player and a pimp down in New Orleans. I said, Black Benny, I want to make a living on my horn. I don't want to struggle no more. I don't like being poor, man. He said, well, Louis, you find a white man that likes your hell, that even loves you. They'll stand up for you, and you become that white man's nigga. And he told that to Queen Elizabeth. He said he found a white man and became his nigga. And Louis Armstrong was no dummy. Y'all should read his letters. He was a prolific letter writer. And he was interesting dude, very complex dude. He could speak fluent Yiddish. A lot of Jewish folks helped him on his career, like the Konofskis. Their building, I didn't know their building was still standing until like a year or so ago, down in New Orleans. It was this Russian Jewish family that helped him get his first horn that he worked for, selling coal to the prostitutes down in Storyville. And they helped him get his first horn and stuff like that. And he stayed connected to them for the rest of his days. I believe he often connect with them. And then, like I said, he had Joe Glazier, who basically helped him get his career where he wanted to be, help him be a wealthy man. So even Louis Armstrong had to go through some stuff, but people think when they look at Louis Armstrong that he was a clown, but he was an entertainer. You know what I'm saying? He's from New Orleans. He knew how white people are. He talked about it honestly in his letters about white people. And he smoked weed every day. He said it was an insulator against racism. And I remember I was sitting there to this rich white couple at the premiere of the Jazz. Now it was a talk with Ken Burns. This is right before the Jazz documentary series he did came out on PBS. And he was at Washington University in St. Louis, where I went to school. And I'll never forget sitting next to this white couple before the program started, where he talked about his film coming out on PBS Jazz with one of our professors, Dr. Gerald Early, a black guy, brilliant black guy from Philadelphia. And I was sitting next to this white couple, and they said how much they were big jazz fans, middle-aged white couple. And I said, yeah, I love Louis Armstrong too. He said, you smoke weed every day because it was insulated against racism. And don't forget the white couple said, Louis Armstrong deal with racism? Not Louis Armstrong. I said, man, these folks are so oblivious to stuff. And he was a black man from New Orleans. You know about black people being hung and lynched. You remember people talking about the Robert Charles race war of 1900? Black man named Robert Charles, July 23rd, July 27th, took on the police of New Orleans by himself, killed several police officers. They had white folks come from different states around the country to get Robert Charles. Then was a black dude in the neighborhood that snitched him out to the white people. They got into the house, they tried to burn him out the house, and then was a medical student that climbed a tree and shot him dead. They dragged his body through New Orleans. They dragged it like James Byrd. You know, they dragged his body, mutilated it beyond recognition, they shot him up to pieces, and took off body parts, and you know, and the city of New Orleans ended up burying him at like early morning hours in Holt Cemetery. Their potters in their poor people cemetery down in New Orleans, where Buddy Bolden, the king of jazz, is buried at, the first king of jazz. So you read Ida B. Wells, she had a pamphlet come out about Robert Charles. She gave the background who Robert Charles was and the reason why the stuff went down the way it did. And then, you know, decades later, Professor William Ivy Hare out of LSU wrote a book, The Carnival of Fury, that talked about the Robert Charles War of July 1900. So they did a song called The Ballad of Robert Charles. A lot of the musicians down there knew, but like General Morton said, they forgot how to play it because it made the white people angry when they heard that song. Because Robert Charles was a folk hero for black people back then. Because he stood up. See, we got to tell these stories. Because people say, I'm not my ancestors. And you wish you were your ancestors because they fought back. A lot of us just take stuff. We keep on waiting for somebody to bail out. We got no friends. You know, and sometimes you got to be willing to put your life on the line just to stand up for something, just to try to exist. Yeah, man, it's a surviving mechanism. I think I know who you are, Luna. I think I know who you are. I think you'll tell me who you are later. Yeah. Shit, Little Richard put a lot of people on. He put like, Little Richard said he invented rock and roll. People thought he was lying, but when he passed, everybody came through Little Richard. Everybody, Jimi Hendrix, Bob Dylan, Elvis, all these people. You know, Little Richard used to be in Memphis a lot of times. You know, Little Richard is the history of rock and roll. But we don't believe, it's like General Morton, right? Who came out of New Orleans. He said he invented jazz. People thought he was lying. You got to study General Morton. He's very complicated because white folks put this lie on. See, we let white folks shape our perception of our people. You understand? Like, you know, they used to write books about Charlie Parker. It wasn't always the truth. It had some truth in it, but you seen it from the devil's eyes. But General Morton, people think he was a braggart, but he actually probably did invent jazz because they discovered stuff that General Morton wrote back in the 20s that basically foretold bebop. He was writing sophisticated orchestrations back in the 20s that basically, like, you know, Charlie Parker and them, Dizzy would do a generation later. He was already notating that stuff. As you know, I mean, our people are incredible. But yeah, we have done a lot of things. Like Louis Armstrong invented pop singing. And people don't believe that. I said, you got to think about nobody. You got to think about how people were singing before Louis Armstrong came on the scene and after he came. The heebie-jeebies out there. He, you know, Bing Crosby was a student of Louis Armstrong. Frank Sinatra, Billie Holiday, Billy Eckstine, every singer had the answer to the legacy of Louis Armstrong. I thought so. You're looking good. I gotta get some FaceTime. But every singer came through after Louis Armstrong owe a debt. Louis was so phenomenal. I mean, we don't understand the greatness of Louis Armstrong. I think his biggest hero was Bojangles. You know, but everybody owes a debt to Louis Armstrong. That man was incredible. Like, he was like Billy Eckstine said it best. He's the world's greatest singer without a voice. It's like with Tupac. People owe a debt after his wake. I mean, like even Rakim, how Rakim came, and people still don't understand the greatness of Rakim. How he just changed rap music forever. Like Louis Armstrong changed American music, but Rakim was a student of jazz too. You listen to Rakim, that's a jazz coming when you. That's a jazz flow. Yeah, I know it's you. But yeah, you up there. That's a good question. You know, that's a great question. Like, how many of them know about these stories? Like I said, we don't talk about the folks. We think they monsters for standing like Michael Johnson, Chris Dorner. They was trying to help us. If you look at my understanding, I mean, I hate that people die, but you got even Mark Essex down in New Orleans from Kansas, from Kansas. The Black Panther took on the SWAT. They thought it was a group of people. The Hojo shooter downtown New Orleans, the Howard Johnson, Mark Essex. Got a lot of people. Lavelle Mixon from Oaktown, from the Bay. I mean, when Lavelle Mixon went toe-to-toe with the police out there, he took down a handful of police officers out in Oakland. We are afraid, Gavin Long. We are afraid to talk about these people. Because we've been told the wrong story. We've been told that our people were weak. Like I talk about Robert F. Williams. Somebody keep asking me if I'm related to Robert F. Williams. I'm not related to Robert F. Williams, but I'm related to one of his supporters and friends, the late, great Julian Mayfield, who was an actor, playwright, a revolutionary, who was from Greer, South Carolina, but he was raised in Washington, D.C. But he used to get guns for Robert F. Williams from New York. I believe Bumpy Johnson was the cat who he secured guns for Robert F. Williams down in Monroe, North Carolina. He helped give him guns, and he also, when they had to leave the country, he drove Robert F. Williams and his wife and family out of the country, from my understanding. He drove them to Canada so they could get to Cuba. So that's my cousin. But, Malcolm X, the reason why Malcolm X, that we know about Malcolm, was because the rappers kept on dropping his name back in the 80s. They kept on sampling Malcolm X's speeches. It was the young people that brought Malcolm X back to our consciousness as a people as well as a nation. It wasn't the elders or the gatekeepers. It was the young people who were denied a music education because they cut out the music education programs in the city that brought back Brother Malcolm. I remember talking to a great jazz musician, J.D. Paran. I talked to him on the phone one time. This back in 2007. I posted an interview with him. And J.D. Paran was a great saxophonist. I don't know if he's still around, but he told me how they did an opera back in the 80s up in New York for Malcolm X. He said that when they were trying to do the opera for Malcolm X, it was the black bougie people that were going to pull sponsorship and say, if you try to do this play about Malcolm or this opera, we're going to pull sponsorship from your institution. So you had all that pushback on Malcolm even then. Even if you think about, what's that, Gil Noble, longtime TV show host up in New York, Like It Is. I think his name Gil Noble. His name Gil Noble. You know the brother that had the show Like It Is, I believe, back in the day. A TV pioneer for our black people. But he said even when Malcolm was around, he was afraid of Malcolm. Like when you see Malcolm speaking live in Harlem, he'll try to walk the other way. He tried to avoid Malcolm at all costs when he was living. And sometimes when the white friends came into the city, they saw Malcolm. They wanted to see Malcolm. They said, "You want to listen to him?" I said, "Yeah. We're interested about what he's talking about. We want to hear his point of view." So even his white friends were more eager to listen to Malcolm than Gil Noble. And then I believe after he passed, he started doing his research on Malcolm. And then he dedicated his life to telling the truth about Malcolm, as well as to serving as a platform to help amplify black people's points of views and our history and current events. So that's the Malcolm effect, because I know a sister named Mama Colette, who was from St. Louis. She was living up in Harlem back in the 50s. And she told me how she used to pass Malcolm on the street corners when he'd be speaking. She was not impressed with him. She'll be getting off the subway and seeing Malcolm speak, talking that talk. She said she wasn't impressed. Then one day something happened to her that was traumatic. And when she got off the subway and walked past him, everything finally clicked what he was saying. She was more receptive to Malcolm. And still to this day, Malcolm is too strong for a lot of people, even though he's been dead for almost 60 years. Is it almost 60 years? Okay. Yeah, I just said he was not popular. I mean, he was hated. Read the New York Times obit that they did on Malcolm. They say he was a pariah. He was a man of violence. He was misunderstood, but he said the media is the most powerful influence on the planet because it controls the influence. It's the most powerful entity or force on the planet because it controls and influences the minds of the masses. So that's what Malcolm was talking about. So now he was like, he's still not like, people hate on Malcolm like people hate on Tupac. Now people hating on Tupac, now people hate on Malcolm X. They don't want to give him credit for anything. Oh, he didn't do that. These brothers from the nation who even was around, I don't think they were born. They be hating on Malcolm, man. But Malcolm was the truth. He had his flaws like anybody. He was a man, but he had a heart for his people. But my thing is when them guys got pardoned or exonerated, they're not innocent of harassing Malcolm. Muhammad Aziz, the guy, whatever, they got pardoned, whatever they did last year. I won't let them off the hook. They was part of the environment that caused the death of our brother Malcolm. Just like Farrakhan could never have his hands clean of helping to get rid of Malcolm. It is what it is. It's not me saying that. It's like you got the newspaper that he was writing in that calls for Malcolm's death. They got Malcolm head rolling down the street with devil horns. No, that's not me. That's history. I mean, to each their own, and that's fine. I mean, it is what it is. Malcolm was in there, everybody cup of tea. Malcolm alienated a lot of people by how he talked about white people. It was one time when Malcolm talked about an airplane going down with a whole bunch of white people. He celebrated that. It is what it is. And I think Malcolm, I know from his talking to his nephew, he took a vow of poverty. So when he died, he didn't have anything but the clothes on his back, really. He had holes in the bottom of his shoes, from my understanding. His house was firebombed the week before, the Sunday before he got killed, on Valentine's Day. So Malcolm didn't have nothing when he fought for the people. That's why I said, people always tell me they want to Malcolm. Why don't we support people that want to support us being liberated? We don't want to support people. We are even Dr. King. A lot of ministers hated Dr. King. A lot of black ministers hated his guts. They couldn't stand Dr. King. When he died, Reverend Jeremiah Wright telling us April 3rd, 2009, he was speaking at the University of Memphis. He said when Dr. King got killed in Memphis, you had prominent black Chicago ministers celebrating with their congregations that King was dead. I see, when a lot of times doing the right thing will leave you alone. When you're doing things for the long term, for the long haul, you live in a lonely existence. It's like I do things, and I'm very much misunderstood a lot of times by the people I think I'm representing. They don't understand what I'm trying to do. And it hurts sometimes, but you gotta soldier through, man. There's stuff I've been doing, trying to uplift other people, so they want to bring me low. And it comes with the territory. Like Medgar Evers, you had black people walking across the street to get away from Medgar Evers while he was alive. He'd be walking down a sidewalk. Black folks would actually cross from that sidewalk to the other side of the street so they can avoid saying hello to Medgar Evers. And his wife used to be mad about that. Merle used to get mad about it. He said, baby, don't worry about it. Why are you getting angry? They don't care. You're going to be angry, and they don't even care that you're angry. And I know what Marilyn was saying that when Medgar got killed, when he got shot in front of the family, somehow she was most angry at black people at that point because, here my man, he died 37 years old, family man, didn't even make it to 40. And he's like, y'all so ungrateful for the sacrifice. Now people love Medgar now, but when you alive, people can't stand you. Like with Jesus, we like the idea of Jesus, but to have somebody like Jesus around to hold us accountable, we don't like that idea. So I'm saying, Malcolm, the idea of a Malcolm is nice for a lot of us. Idea of Ida B. Wells is nice, but when they exist and walk the planet, we can't stand these people. Ida B. Wells, we had black teachers and administrators mad at her in Memphis when she talked about the horrible conditions, working conditions for the black teacher as well as the black student. You had the black people in the school system drive out of the school system. Then the white mob drove out the South. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is you got a lot to contend with when you actually have a heart to serve an ungrateful people that don't understand or understand even why you love them so much. But you got to learn how to, on some levels, be able to detach from that. But it is what it is. I remember Tavis Smiley saying that you had churches in places where they would not even allow Dr. King to speak from the pulpit. This type of hate he was dealing with among his own brethren, his peer group. So it is what it is. And who said Elijah Muhammad was a follower of Marcus Garvey? Then you got Noble Drew Ali. You got Martin Delaney. You got Bishop Henry McNeil Turner, who's also from Georgia. I mean, I give credit to Elijah, no doubt. Like I said, nation, they have rehabilitated a lot of people that society has deemed fit to throw away. But at the same time, from my understanding, Elijah was getting them checks from A.L. Hunt. I remember Dick Gregory talking about how Elijah Muhammad one time showed him this big old check he got from the government. And I'm saying Elijah Muhammad was a great man, but it's complicated because, like, you know, our people, we so emotional. Elijah Muhammad brought land from the Klan down in Georgia. And people say, oh, man, it's a sellout. No, he's dealing with this is the devil in their system. You got to deal with them. You cannot deal with them. You got to. Marcus Garvey dealt with the Klan. They agreed that black folks should go back to Africa too. They were supporters of Marcus Garvey. I mean, people, oh man, it's a sellout. No, it's more complicated than that. But the H.L. Hunt cat, you know, he's connected to some of the top assassinations of the 60s, whether it be Dr. King or JFK. You know, his son was Lamar Hunt, one of the founders of the American Football League, the founder of the Kansas City Chiefs. But Elijah Muhammad got some checks from H.L. Hunt. You know, they don't just diminish Elijah. But I think people do give him credit. And he's one of our greats. No, I have no problem with that. Everybody complicated. Yeah, I'm about to do that. I am going to make sure I chop this up. I ain't expect to be on, man. So it'd be a drag. I thank you for reminding me that. I'm going to chop this up. Y'all support what I do. If you like what I'm doing, help me out. I need some help. Cash out. Support the brother. You get about WD Farad, whatever his name was. That's the guy who was the founder of the Nation of Islam. He was a jegna to Elijah Muhammad. That's, you know, they do Founders Day. And he's a interesting character too. They got some FBI files on WD Farad. They don't know what he is. I think some people say he was Turkish or whatever. But there's, excuse me, there's a clip on YouTube of Elijah Muhammad's biological son, Wallace Muhammad, him discussing WD Farad, and I think Louis Farrakhan on there too. I mean, yeah, it's interesting because they talking about white Jesus, but you got this white looking figure that you got photos of, pictures of hanging off your temple and mosque. You know, black folks are interesting. We're very color struck people. It's all good. I don't, you know, there's a lot to cover. I mean, with the Africa thing, I think the best way, I know I talked to Dr. Randy Weston, the great jazz musician and mystic. Like, his jegnas were Thelonious Monk and Langston Hughes. He actually played at Langston Hughes' funeral. He was a friend of mine. He passed away, became an ancestor back in 2018. When I visited with him in Brooklyn in his brownstone, see, his father, he was a tall man, almost 7 feet tall. His father was from Panama. His mom was from Virginia, and they both were devout Garveyites. And his wife at the time was from Senegal, I believe. And he said, Ron, America is Africa. America is Africa. You know, and everybody, I guess, genetically is from Africa, quote unquote, allegedly. But we also know that people that look like us were already here, or we should know that. And, you know, you think about what they did with the $5 Indian. I mean, white folks, you can't trust these people, man. When it comes to telling the truth, we can't trust them. So we do have roots here. Thank you, Brother Anthony. We love you madly for the donation. Brother G Road. Thank you. But I mean, we have roots here. We got to stop saying we don't have roots over there. We got roots over there. We got roots here. It was you know, you think about the banjo It's like you look at like country music. Country music was invented by black people. The banjo, that's a black people instrument. Hank Williams Sr., the king of country music, his master teacher was a guy named Rufus T-Top Payne, who was hired by his mom to teach her son how to play the guitar and how to sing. And he acknowledged that before he died at 29, there was a black man that taught him how to do these things. Matter of fact, his son, Hank Williams Jr., did a song called T-Top. And then Hank Williams Jr. and the Grand Ole Opry, they raised money and put a monument in the front entrance of Lincoln Cemetery, which is around outside of Montgomery, Lincoln Cemetery. They got a monument dedicated to T-Top for teaching the king of country music how to be the king of country music. So even Hank Williams Sr. said a black man taught him how to do that. You also look at hockey. Hockey, that's a white man's game. No, that was invented by black slaves that escaped from America to Canada. Black folks invented hockey. But now it's a white person's game. We invented that. Just like Louis Armstrong invented pop singing. Let's do if you're a musicologist, listen to stuff, how people sounded before Louis Armstrong started singing and listen to how they sound afterwards. I mean, Bing Crosby was a student. Frank Sinatra, like I said, Billie Holiday, they all got that from Louis. And Louis had to be the most gifted singer. It's not about, y'all get twisted. Miles Davis was not a virtuoso, but he was on his own in his own lane. So it's not just about him playing a trumpet. His thing was, he said, what made me different from Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie was that I had the charisma to attract people to play the things that were in my head that I couldn't play myself. That's Miles Davis. Miles Davis was a master at getting people together. Because you think about Miles Davis, he's like, if you look at football, like, who's that guy named? The tuna. Bill Parcells, right? Bill Parcells was a great coach, but his coaching tree is evidence that he was a brilliant coach, because the people that came out of his coaching tree, Bill Belichick, the guy who was the coach of the I'm Brown and Black. The guy who was the coach with Eli Manning was quarterback at New York Giants, who won 2 Super Bowls against the Patriots with Eli. Yeah, Sean Payton down New Orleans. These are folks that work with Bill Parcells. They are part of this coaching tree. Every musician that played with Miles at some point end up leading their own band. John Coltrane, you got Herbie Hancock, Wayne Shorter, you got Keith Jarrett, it's one that died recently. You got a lot of people that played with Miles. They end up being a star, a leader of their own band. Miles did Kind of Blue. Oh, Julian Cannonball Adderley, Bill Evans. We just lost Jimmy Cobb not too long ago. He was the last person to die from the Kind of Blue. Who did Kind of Blue? One of the greatest albums of all time, not just jazz albums. One of the greatest. He was the last person to pass on, maybe the last 2 years. Jimmy Cobb was the drummer. But Miles was amazing. And then people talk about Beyonce and Khalees, but Beyonce and Khalees, they owe a debt to Betty Davis. Betty Davis was the one point the wife of Miles Davis. Betty Davis was Madonna before Madonna, Beyonce, Rihanna, Lady Gaga, Khalees, all the people you could think of, they owe a debt to Betty Davis. And Betty Davis' career, I don't know if she was blackballed, she was shelved, but listen to some of her stuff. She did a documentary before she died to talk about her music career. But she was the one that got really Miles Davis hip to Jimi Hendrix. As a matter of fact, Miles Davis talked about in his autobiography that allegedly Jimi Hendrix banged his wife, Betty Davis, because the girlfriend of Jimi Hendrix at the time wanted to get with Miles. She said, "Oh, they screwed, right? Why don't we screw to get back?" And Miles had a thing. He said, "Look, I don't screw my potential bandmates or members, girlfriends or wives. It's bad for business." So Miles cared more about the women, about the music than he did about the WAP. He didn't want to get no revenge against Jimi Hendrix. Because what happened was, I believe he left Jimmy some stuff to read, some music to read And Jimmy couldn't read music. He never learned how to read music. And Miles came back and said, "What do you think about it?" And Jimmy said, I can't read music. I think Miles made fun of him or something like that. So I guess it's Get Back, Jimi Hendrix slept with his wife, Betty Davis, from my understanding. But read Miles' autobiography is interesting. Yeah. You said Thomason came out of Bill Parcells' coaching tree? You know, Thompson used to be an assistant coach at University of Memphis football team back in the day. I didn't know that, but I mean, it's you tell the greatness of a tree by the fruit it bears. So you're a 13%, huh? Thank you, brother Antonio. We love you madly for the donation. Thank y'all for sending donations. We love you madly. But it's by design, though. That's definitely by design. Yes, you know, they had a hand. You know, Dick Gregory, God bless Dick Gregory, the righteous ancestor. He talked about how the CIA was in the Ottoman a week earlier. And allegedly, the shots that killed Malcolm didn't come from the black gunman. It came from above. Like the shots that hit Malcolm came from a downward angle. According to Dick Gregory, if it came from a upward angle, that means it got, you know, the gunman from the crowd did it. But you know, his bodyguard Eugene Robinson was NYPD undercover part of the Bossy program. And like I said, Malcolm was poisoned a couple times overseas, and he almost died. He had to get his stomach pumped to keep from dying. So CIA, I mean JFK, you know what I'm saying? He fired the top brass of the CIA, Allen Dulles and General Charles Cable. He come to Dallas, and Charles Cable brother is the mayor of Dallas, Earl Cable. They changed the parade route, going down the street with unsecured buildings, and the rest is history. It's always an inside job. Always an inside job. So just looking through. Yeah, I've been to Africa Town. I went there for my birthday back in 2016 to pay homage to the ancestors. Because you got the brother who was on that ship. He's buried in Africa Town in the cemetery. Was it Cujo? Oh, that's the name of it. Like Zora Neale Hurston interviewed him back in the day. But I went there to pay my respect to the ancestors. They have blackberries growing in the cemetery. Mobile is interesting because Mobile is where the first Mardi Gras was held. They got the Mardi Gras Museum downtown Mobile. Mobile is an interesting place. Got some good food by the Gulf. Yeah, I'm familiar with Africa Town. And then you have like one of my favorite rappers that don't get a lot of credit. He's from Mobile. Y'all had the last Mr. Big. Mr. Big, he had some good stuff back in the day. He passed away, in 2015 or something like that. But Mr. Big had some anthems, man. He don't get enough credit. He was a pioneer, trap music and stuff like that. Long live the last Mr. Big. Hey man, Tony, we appreciate it. And I met you like at the screening for that the great movie about Africa, brothers going back to Africa. Great little screening. But let's see. I'll try to wait. Let me see. I might not be able to get Brandon T. Jackson on right now, but I'm trying him now. He said he could be on 5:30, so it's 2 hours in. So this is what I'm going to do. Probably going to rename this. This segment, like somebody said, cut up some of this stuff. But I'm glad I got on here. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. Like even with the Bill Russell thing. Bill Russell's interesting. Probably the greatest winner in the history of professional sports in North America. 11 titles with one team in 13 years. Even won titles as a player coach. One of the most dominant forces in basketball history. Became a righteous ancestor last weekend, or maybe it was last Sunday or Saturday, one of these things. And it's interesting. He was a phenomenal competitor. But I know people got an issue. Some people said he was a mean guy. People criticize LeBron James for not saying anything immediately after the passing of Bill Russell. I saw what's his name? Jason Whitlock did some commentary about how Bill Russell was a mean-spirited old man and a hypocrite. So, he fought for civil rights, but he's like, he had issues with the white man, but he married 3 white women. He took 3 white women as his wives. I think his first wife was his high school sweetheart, was a black woman. She gave him his kids. Almost like a Frederick Douglass dude. Jason was saying how he was ungrateful towards the fans of Boston, but from my understanding, somebody or some people broke into his home and vandalized his home and spray painted nigga on his walls, whatever. I don't know, but it's a complicated man. But Jason Whitlock was saying how he really was a hypocrite in his eyes because he felt like what they're giving to Bill Russell, they should give the same respect, if not more, to Jim Brown for the work he did with American organization, working with black men and gangbangers to change their lives around over the years. But Jim Brown got a questionable issue with how he treated women back in the day. Everybody got their flaws, but Jim Brown is a great man. And I still do believe that Bill Russell's a great man. But, like Dick Gregory. I mean, Dick Gregory, y'all know how it is. Y'all seen the video. Dick Gregory go off on people, cursing people out, in particular black guys. And then he'll tell you how's the family, that he ain't going to speak to you no more. And then he'll speak to you again. Like, it's water under the bridge. And I remember people tell me about stories. We'd be interviewed by young black guys. One black guy in particular, he was interviewed Dick Gregory in person. And he wanted to fight Dick Gregory. They had to hold him back, but Dick didn't tell anybody. I mean, somehow the manager and the editor found out what the journalist was trying to do. They got rid of the journalist, but Dick Gregory didn't tell his manager and editor what he was doing, trying to fight him. That's ridiculous. Try to fight Dick Gregory, it just looked bad. It's like, even if you beat him up, you look bad. And if he beat you up, you look bad. You can't win. It's like if Will Smith smacked Dick Gregory for cracking on Jada. It just looked bad. So Dick Gregory, you gotta understand his history, what he's been through as a man, as a black man, the hell he caught, the ass whoopings he got. Dick went through a lot of stuff, lost a lot of good people. He even lost his career. I mean, he lost money, couldn't take care of his family. I mean, he found ways the movement provided, I guess. But I take that all into consideration when you're dealing with a person, a human being that has lived long enough to experience a lot of things like trauma, unresolved trauma. So just because Dick Gregory cursed you out or you feel like he disrespected you doesn't mean he's not a great man. Same thing with Bill Russell. Just because you had a personal issue with Bill Russell, you feel like he was hard, mean-spirited, I mean, whatever. Don't take away from the greatness he did on the field and some of the greatness he did off the field. You know what I'm saying? People are people. Yeah, I mean, okay, Brandon T. Jackson coming on. Yeah, that I think it's a frustration he was dealing with. He know his time. He know he was running out of time. He was dealing with the fact that we still doing the same stuff they were dealing with 50 years ago. Then I said, even took me a minute to understand some of the stuff he was doing. But I appreciate him and his wisdom and the fact that he poured into me. He saw something in me. Like I said, we had a friendship for 6 years, and I met him on the road, broke bread with him several times. he spoke highly of me and all this other stuff. But like he told me, Ron, we soldiers. If you don't like the assignment, get your ass out the war. Get your ass out the army. Excuse me. Like we soldiers at war. And like he was like a drill sergeant, trying to wake us up, get us ready. And like he said, playtime's over. Playtime is over. So we have Brandon on very soon. It's like a We All Be marathon show. Maybe I had to do this show just to wake myself up. Because there's so much stuff going on. But I it's hard to miss Baba Dick Gregory because I'm reminding him every day. When I watch a random movie or video on YouTube, somebody's popping up Dick Gregory. I read a book and then Dick Gregory name come up. So Dick Gregory is omnipresent. He's more powerful now as an ancestor than he was walking around in this mortal cold. And really appreciate it. Oh, Sister Darren. Yeah, he really enjoyed talking to you too. But who knew that, I had no idea that year he was going to leave us. That was the beginning of 2017. Was that beginning or maybe April? I think it was the beginning. But it was like, who knew? But I'm glad you got a chance to speak to him. And I think you also said you saw him perform, correct? Not mistaken. It's always good to see you, Miss Darian, Leo Queen, that you are. And I went down to Uvalde. That was an interesting experience as well. Uvalde, Texas, where that massacre happened with Robb Elementary. And I went there the month anniversary. I didn't know it was the month anniversary when me, my mom, and my sister went there. Because my mom was graduating. She got a doctorate in education. She went to her event in San Antonio. And going down there was interesting because Uvalde is a fascinating place. It's near Mexico. And it's very clean cut, well manicured lawns. The streets don't have no potholes in them. Got nice looking buildings, restaurants, grocery store, gas stations. And go to that school was amazing, Robb Elementary. And it was a peace there. I mean, it was a lot of like people left toys and stuffed animals and everything, balloons. It was actually peaceful. But it was sad to know that what happened just as a human being. And so I remember I played my trumpet at Robb Elementary, and I looked at the video afterwards. I had no idea because it was almost, it was getting dark. But before I finished my playing, the light on the school came on, like it was acknowledging me. It let me know that they can hear what I was doing. And then like it knew I was about to end. Right before I ended, it went out. It came on and it went out. I said, what that's about? But I didn't feel, it just feel peace. Something very traumatic happened there, but it feel peaceful. Because that's the same day they were having their graduation at the school district. So I think we got brother. Hey, brother Brandon, how you doing?
I'm good. You just put me on. Wait, I wasn't ready.
Yeah, I've been freestyling for over 2 hours, man. I said, let me shut this down. So I'm gonna let it keep on going. Thank you so much, man. So everything is situated. I know you got a lot going on.
Yeah, I do. I just know you're gonna throw me right in the in the room. I'm just getting my thing together. I got the bed in the background. Get my mic together.
I can take you out, man.
No, you good? I just didn't even know. Hold on, let me get my headphones on. I'm on another call too. Hey, but let me hit you back. All right, for sure. All right.
How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm just, I getting everything together. Just, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. There we go. So you've been stalling for, like, what's going on? Like,
2 hours. I just talking. I freestyle. Like, it's a lot to talk about in this news cycle. And when I do it, We All Be TV, I try to put things that's current in a historical perspective. So I give a little Black history or world history stuff along with what's going on, and I just get feedback from the audience.
Oh, okay. Where's the audience?
On YouTube. They're on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
so that, there's people in there that've been waiting for you. So I sent people
got
on.
thrown into the situation. I got 5
So
other
hello?
things going on. And hi,
Kind of
how you
froze
guys
up.
doing? Is this on YouTube? Like, where so you're StreamYarding from?
The screen frozen. Hey, can you hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah, it froze up. So like, what's going on, man? Like, you been MIA for a lot of people, man. Like, you was like going like real fast into the stratosphere, and all of a sudden you just disappeared.
So did Dave Chappelle, and it came back with 60 million.
Exactly. They want to get to, man. Cause
I don't get it though. Where's Julie Roberts?
She did that Watergate miniseries, but she hasn't been doing a lot of.
But she disappeared for like 7 years. Where's Natalie Portman?
That's a good question. Where is Natalie? I was thinking about her too.
She left for like 10 years. Oh, when you black, you can't leave. You got to just be on the slave ship all the time, right?
I have no problem with taking a break or hiatus. So that's how you was feeling at that time. I mean, you was in a lot of.
It's just the narrative that people of color can't take a break and learn about history and God and their self is just overplayed. You know what I mean? That's old, man. That stuff is old. You know, you don't have to be in everybody's face all the time.
So what did you?
Ain't the only way to make money.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So what did you learn taking a break? What did you learn about yourself or your purpose?
Just life, man. Learn how to take care of 4 children. Learn how to cook. Still learn how to cook, by the way. Learn how to manage a household.
Mm-hmm.
Learn how the world works. Just regular stuff.
That's good, man. It's good to be grounded and have a sense of, I guess, normalcy if you can in a world like this.
Just regular stuff, man. The sun come up every day consistently. You know, America sells images of just hype. Like what? It's like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? This stuff is easy. Like all this hype. Where you been? Boom, all day. That's what y'all want. Y'all just want twerk all day, hype for what? Now what?
That's right. What? I mean, like you in the media. I mean, I'm just been kind of perplexed. Like,
Steve Jobs can just like I don't know about Jeff Bezos and these guys. They just sit back and they just 13 years they build.
Mm-hmm.
Just build. They're not even face every day, man.
Speaking of Jeff Bezos and Steve Jobs, I know your family got a very powerful enterprise with Impact Television Network.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we own a network, and we're focusing on a family entity where we all structure real properties for generational wealth, where we are able to control our real properties, intellectual properties. And when it's time to be on the front side of it, you got people like me who has a face value of about $6 million if you look it up, and which could be leveraged in the business world as an asset to a family trust.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason I think that's very important, because Malcolm said the most powerful entity on the planet is the media, because it influences and control the minds of the masses. And I'm be honest with you, brother Brandon, it's hard pressed to find like some good content that your whole family can watch on TV right now. This is ridiculous in the movies. It's like they pushing something.
Just great content. People that do content that empowers just a family structure and love and life. That's it. I mean, it's stuff is so very simple. We're making it harder than it is. It's just simple, man. Who owns the properties? Who owns your name? Who owns your likeness? What's the properties that are being stored in what family? You know what I mean? And those family properties have to be aggregated out inside of the portals of the matrix. That's simple. Mm-hmm. So once that's done, it comes back to whoever the ownership or controlling factor legally binding inside of that trust. Then you're able to leverage that to for cash value.
Mm.
through generations in perpetuity.
You know, when I remember you talk about some of the ideas you had on Friday about business and stuff, how to implement and scale things. I was very impressed with that. The fact that you had this type of ambition and energy to want to do things, not only for yourself, but also for your family and for your people. I feel like it's very sincere. And also when you say that, I'm thinking about, you know, several years ago when Kanye was making his rounds about the fashion industry on the Breakfast Club and Sway, and people thought he was crazy, but look at him now. Like, you know, he had to build, you got to build a dynasty, a family thing. But it's hard to get in sometimes because it's very like a country club mentality, it seems, in these different industries.
I think it's actually just very simple. Just work together and do your paperwork. It's not hard. It's just paperwork. It's just like, you know what I mean? Anything else, just write it down. You know what I mean? You just gotta write everything down. And then it becomes so. You know, I mean, we're making it harder than it is. It's not hard at all, actually. It's actually pretty easy. If you have an idea, just write it down. And then you get it trademarked. You know.
It do sound, you said it's easy, not simple, right? It's two different things. Like you saying it's easy to do, or it's a simple thing?
It's both. Our people don't want to sit down. You know, we don't want to sit down. We want to be dancing. We're taught to dance, not to sit down.
This is true. This definitely we twerking. It's not funny in that way, but we live in the fierce urgency of now. I'm asking, is it too late for us to get our stuff together as a people?
That's your choice. I don't do it anymore. I don't try to control people's choices. I tried that already. You know what I'm saying? There's no point of trying to make people do something that they can do for themselves. Like I can't make you drink water, bro. Like I can't. I can waste my time with that anymore. It's so simple. It's not even hard. Like this stuff is not hard. It's a choice. Like if people choose to not take care of their business, that's their choice.
Yeah, this definitely I agree with that. I'm not with the victimhood mentality. That's what I was talking about. What's your thought about the critical race theory thing? I mean, are you pro or con that?
It's your choice. So simple. It's cause and effect.
And you're a very serious brother.
It's simple. Like all this time, all these deep talks, I'm over it. It's simple. Stuff is there's all this deep spiritual stuff that people be doing. It's like it's not even hard. It's simple. It's like I'm not going into these deep talks anymore. I'm tired of them because they don't do nothing but be about we gotta get together and we gotta be in empowerment. Man, just do it.
I hear what, yeah, definitely that makes sense. But also, I didn't have no idea. Be honest with me, until Friday, that you're a very funny guy, man. That you really.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know what to expect.
All right. I mean, most people don't because that's just because they choose to define. Let me do one of these. Sorry, I got one of these.
All right, good.
Look at this. I set on my glasses. Look at this.
Oh man,
do it right.
That's all right. You make it work. Well, you know how to tilt your head a certain way. You know how to do it.
How stupid is this? And I gotta go all the way back, and I fix them every time.
You don't got them on a warranty. I mean, I know they're probably expensive.
I got a warranty on it. I just feel like wearing my sunglasses right now because that's what mode I'm in right now.
Be you, man. But yeah, you definitely you got you're funny.
I mean, I don't understand. I put a projection of an image out there, and that's on a rerun status that's owned by Fox and Warner Brothers, and that's just a rerun for advertisers to buy the property, and people think that's you. And you know, I just kind of. You know, it is what it is. I love it. It's great. That's an image that I created, not from scratch, but that I chose to play and use my likeness for people to watch. So it's like when people see me live, it's like, okay, now you get to see me, you know, Brent T. Jackson. So
right. Who's your inspiration as far as your stand-up goes? I mean, who's some of your heroes?
You know, the same. You know, people say Eddie Murphy. I like the image Eddie Murphy put out there. It's pretty cool. You know, some of his stand-up, and he mixed fashion with comedy and gentleman. Everyone was going for the gentleman. So what's his name? I'm sorry, Rico. I'm about to take these things off in a minute. What's your name? Michael Jackson was really not mocking, using the inspiration for Fred Astaire.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. This is comedy right here. This is, you can't write this.
You got tilt a little bit. You tilt your head,
These
baby.
glasses. Look at this.
Yeah, I mean, you almost pulled it off.
My son sat on them. It's crazy. It never works.
Mm-hmm.
It's a scam. It's kind of funny though. I can't lie.
Yeah,
But,
you gonna wear them tonight on your set?
yeah, I'm gonna keep wearing these crooked glasses. That's how my life feel right now with my image crooked. I feel real out of place sometimes because people trying to explain yourself in a way where in a world that really is in a place where they think they know what's going on and they just choose not to really accept what's really going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Lana. Stuff is simple, man. It's like I don't even. You can't unlearn what you already know. You can only teach new. There you go. Okay, thank you, Mister Great. Yeah, man. I'm done with these monotonous conversations of knowledge. Like apply it and move and love your family. You know what I'm saying? It's simple. I'm not even having any more conversations about these deep knowledge conversations anymore. It's stupid.
It's a lot of intellectual masturbation going on. You ain't lying about that. So it really is like it's action time. It's the season of action and deeds and doing.
It's like stupid. So dumb. This is gonna keep going on. We this, we that, and then we nigga the ego represents the loot of the strangle, and then nigga give me $1. It's the same stuff, and everybody asking for money.
Mm-hmm. I mean, well,
every spirituality takes money. I don't want to hear anything about this anymore. Show me your money and show me your God without trade, and I believe him. And that one person that put a staff down and turned into a snake that I see right now out here. And who called him fire from heaven? I don't want to hear nothing about your spirituality unless you're doing that. I don't want to hear none of that stuff anymore.
But you are the son of a preacher man, a very prominent preacher man, Bishop Wayne Jackson. How did that go at Thanksgiving?
He's a man, but he's a businessman. We're doing business. See, that's in that infrastructure. We're doing business. Now, when we talk business, we can talk. But you're talking about the Holy One or these concepts of life. Nobody want to hear that stuff unless you bring in the powers. I don't want to hear nobody else unless you bring in the powers. If you're not bringing the powers, show me some cash. Because that's what we all serving right now is money.
So money is the God.
Yes. Of this realm. Yes. Yes. So if you got an infrastructure to build that, then we can talk. If you're talking about all this other stuff, I don't want, unless you throwing down a snake, a staff and a snake, and we parting seeds and the stuff is, I don't want to hear nothing you got to say because I've heard everybody's take and they all saying something different.
Is there more than one way to get to that enlightened place?
I don't want to hear none of
that. You're right. I hear you.
Way to get to feeding your children is through revenue streams. Because I can't take all these people out and we start farming. And then y'all get lazy when it's time to farm. I'm gonna tell you the most bouted spirituality in the world is the Amish.
Okay.
They don't want to do shit. They don't want to do nothing that has to do with technology. Why are you on the internet if it's made by the devil? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I don't want to see none of this. I don't want to see none of the infrastructure. I don't want to see no computers because that's the devil. And people say, I don't want to see nothing made by the hands of man if we're gonna play that game. If so, then you're a scam artist. You're just using a religion to get more cash and business, which makes sense. That makes sense. Religion is a business. Spirituality is a business. Out of all these people you see, all right, hit the cash app. All these talks, niggas say hit the cash app.
Yeah.
But who created Cash App? Jack Dorsey.
Mm.
He set and made a portal for your money to come through. We keep like, you see what I'm saying? We keep being avatars in somebody else's game.
Yeah.
It's just hilarious to watch. This is stupid. I don't even care anymore.
You know what? You got your magic glasses on, but you can't make everybody else wear them though. It's like Dick Gregory tell me, once you put the magic glasses on, it's hard. You're gonna never be able to take them off. I
don't even care anymore. I literally don't care anymore. Like if you miss it, that's on you. You know what I mean? It's not for me to care.
I think you care, but you gotta be able to detach yourself from all this bullshit. That's what that is. You can't let this make you go crazy.
I really don't care.
Okay,
I can be honest about it. I don't care. I don't care about people not choosing simple truths. It's just simple. It's more simple than you think it is. And all this complex knowledge got everybody thinking they guru. There's too many gurus out here, man.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's a guru. You know what I teach online? Acting.
Okay.
I teach acting. I teach acting because I know acting. You know why I know acting? Because I've done it before. You know why? Because I've done over 72 movies. That's why I teach acting. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop the scams. I'm not going to be teaching spirituality because once I learned that everybody's just everyone's acting like they actually got the power of God when they really have the power of making more money, which is God in this realm. Because somebody built the infrastructure. We chose not to build infrastructure.
I mean, so what you saying? We should have been built the infrastructure yesterday. We should have already had it.
You got a time machine? No, you don't.
Nah. Not to my knowledge. They're working on stuff. They make the world.
When I say
it. Yeah, I got a time machine. But speaking of like your acting, man, like you are a gifted communicator. Just you're a gifted communicator, and like I said, I really enjoyed your performances, and like not just in the Lottery Ticket. That was a very powerful scene. Everybody know that scene in Lottery Ticket. That's an iconic scene when you just broke it down. But you said you was channeling your inner Detroit, and in Detroit cats, y'all move different. Y'all got a lot of swagger. So, I mean, did you take acting lessons? I mean, how did you? No. So how do you discover your gift?
It's a natural gift.
Mm.
It's a natural gift given to me by the Creator. And I just use it now. I'm just going back to just using my gifts, I had to see what was real, and you have to find some things that unlock inside of you, and sometimes you do what you got to do. I mean, I love having a good time, I love thank you. I love having a good time, just being free and fun on stage and have a good time, but it's just a gift,
Also, like one of my favorite movies, man, is you in Tropic Thunder. You held your own with Robert Downey and Ben Stiller, Tom Cruise, Jack Black. I mean, you really held it and using young cat, man.
Mm-hmm.
So how was you able to get that role?
I just auditioned. And I went for it, and it was fun. I auditioned, and it was just kept going. It kept auditioning, and I didn't get the part, and then after that they gave me the part because another actor dropped out. So
it was meant to be yours, though. Definitely, you did your job. But I'm gonna ask you,
the blessing, man.
Did you have an issue with Robert Downey in blackface? Was that a problem for you at first, or I mean, what were your response?
The character covered it. Mm-hmm. My character said it in the movie.
So it wasn't just acting there. That's how you felt.
It wasn't just acting. But it was written like that, so it became a self-fulfilling prophecy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and also I liked you, man. I think I first really liked you as well in the Percy Jackson stuff, man. I really enjoy. I mean, you just like I said, like you just walk away, man. Like you was on your way to Oscar nominations. I just see all that stuff.
Oscars. I was never.
Yeah, but you just like you say, fuck it, huh?
I was never considered to be. No, I just who said I'm. I mean, it's like this is what I'm saying. It's like it's crazy. It's so funny how we look at things. How we look at things.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, you know your story better than anybody.
It's just not nothing. It's not. I'm still going. I got like you know what I'm saying. It's like this. You went away. Spirit is like so did Julia Roberts. Like what? It becomes annoying. Like I sometimes I hate wearing the. It's like when you are a being and you came into this realm as a person of color, you have to bear the mindsets of everybody around you, people of color. And I don't subscribe to half of the stuff that we subscribe to. You see what I'm saying? I don't subscribe to those thoughts of man, you was on the way up and then you just like no. I leveled out and keep going. You know, it's like when you're in a plane, you take off and you level out and you go up and down in different elevations. You see what I'm saying? It's like, why does it have to be all or nothing with our people? Why can't it just be like, I'm driving my plane the way I want to drive it? You know what I'm saying? Why is it always like extra stuff? I'm only in my 30s. It's the time where I'm supposed to be striving. You know what I'm saying? Like Brad Pitt had a career in his 20s. He had a career in his 30s. He had a career in his 40s and his 50s. You just grow, like, just go, you know, like you just do it. Like who's stopping?
Yeah. I
only took a break to go to the next level. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a plane lands and then it goes back up. The sun goes up and it goes down. Cycles. I just don't understand why. I don't get it. Like, why when you wear a melanated suit as a spiritual being, you have to be subservient to this. You was on your way up, and then out of nowhere you left. I landed my plane, serviced it, and now I'm going and fly it again, and I'm landing it again. Like, what, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what do y'all want from me? Like, what do people want to? What do they think that you should be at? According to the destiny that I want. My expectations are my expectations. So I don't understand when people say that, like, wait, this is my destiny that I'm driving, my ship. So, you know, if y'all want to see where I'm driving, cool. If not, then I'm not going to stop driving. You know what I'm saying? I just don't understand that mindset. I just don't get it. Like, it makes me go, what's going on?
So where is your destination?
7 years of philanthropy. 7 years of philanthropy, because that's what I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand it. I understand. Bezos can go, and Steve Jobs can go and be a yogi in Tibet for 5 years, and then create Apple or wherever. And then when you black, you're not allowed to do these things. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And then everyone on the internet talking about you can do anything you put your mind to in manifestation. But then when you go to do it, everyone's like, "Where you been?" I'm like, I was going.
Yeah, a lot of us ain't living our true lives.
Thank you, Deborah.
Yeah.
But that's an excuse. Like, I'm not, my mind will not subscribe to the mindset of a slave, period. And if you have a slave mindset, that's on you. That's because you chose that. But you're not going to put me in your infrastructure. Exactly.
I mean, we got a very interesting group of people, man. They really
love them. I see where he's coming from. Like, when people say Jay-Z still making music 50 and Mick Jagger, that's what I'm saying. Like, what I'm talking about. These stop putting boundaries on our people. Stop putting boundaries. These curses. Go away from them. These cursed ideals that just keeps us in a perpetual hell, and I'm not doing it anymore. Just move.
Keep
All this extra stuff. It's extra. I love you, sis Luna, but this it just move. It's not nothing there. There's nothing stopping you.
Mm-hmm.
You see, it's the scam of we can't do it because we black. It's like that. That's man, I'm tired of that. I'm not passing that down to my children. Y'all can have that.
Max, this do you classify yourself as black, or do you see yourself as something?
Man, listen, bro. That's not even a real term. All this stuff is a scam, bro. Like, why are you all even subscribing to this stuff, man?
I'm listening. We listening, man. Like,
I'm not gonna tell y'all what to subscribe to. You subscribe to what you see. I'm not telling y'all nothing about subscribing to anything. I'm telling you, I'm not subscribing to any of it. How about that?
that's fine, man. We respect. Hey, we respect.
I'm not subscribing to. I'm so tired of y'all trying to subscribe these things, these thoughts, and I'm not subscribed. I am free to do what the Almighty has me to do in His purpose.
Okay.
I don't have a chip on my shoulder. My Pisces.
You are Pisces. You definitely a Pisces.
I don't have a chip on my shoulder. This is actually me being. I'm actually happy. Hold on one second.
Uh-huh.
I'm on a live podcast. Don't say nothing crazy.
No, I'm just showing you. Look.
Oh,
What
nice.
the boys got.
Hold on one second.
Mhm.
Very
Yeah.
sweet, generous.
Hold on one second.
Stop. You make a mess.
Let me see.
Flip it so daddy can see. Show daddy.
Oh God, why'd you get that? For who?
I didn't get it. It was a gift.
From who?
So they have the virtual
From who?
game thing. Both the boys.
I know from who.
Terrence J. Stop.
You got too much going on. Why is Terrence J giving my kids that?
Why not?
I don't know. He didn't call me and tell me he was giving my kids that.
He didn't see you.
I'll tell him I said thank you. Okay. All right. It's too much going on. What do you
That's family, man.
Hmm?
That's family for you. That's good.
That's
Be in
cool.
touch with family.
Oh my God. Where are you at?
You can't see me. Oh, you talking about where I'm at?
Yeah.
Can you see me?
Hmm?
You see me?
No, I don't see you.
You don't see me.
I don't
Oh, you got
see
probably got to go in and out. You on your phone? You doing this on your phone?
Why is everybody calling me right now? It's crazy.
You an important man.
No, this just happened when we was on the thing. Let me see. Google Chrome. It's probably on Chrome. Everybody leave. I don't have a chip on my shoulder. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why I do these interviews, bro. Because I'm always misread. Like I don't like doing.
People
I
just
like
don't.
doing these conscious interviews because it's always this. I like doing Hollywood interviews now because I can go smile and be like, I do the jokes. All this deep stuff. I don't have a chip on my shoulder. I just don't have, like deep stuff is not. It's like it's no chip. It's misread. Everyone thinks I'm mad. I'm not mad. I don't have a chip on my shoulder. I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just talking about I won't. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing. I don't get it. It's nothing there, bro. Did it seem like I got a chip on my shoulder when you came to my show? No.
No, man. I'm telling you, like, I didn't have no expectations. I didn't know you're gonna be funny or not. Because I mean, I know Marlon. I seen Marlon, and he's hilarious to me. I just kept it level, and I saw you perform, and I really enjoyed it. Then I met you afterwards. You a cool brother, man. You're not no Hollywood type of cat pretentious or nothing like that. You came across as a decent brother, and I saw how you interact with the people. You were very patient with people, and you offer great advice to people that were seeking help. So I think you do care, but I understand why you got to protect yourself and insulate yourself because of all these weird energy vampires and stuff like that. People got certain agendas and stuff.
Too much.
Yeah, but I mean, you hanging in there though, man. You're a tough guy. But you're not. I don't see you as a bitter guy either. You know,
not bitter. I'm having the greatest time of my life right now. I'm annoyed. How about this? I'm annoyed. I don't have a chip on my shoulder. Is that better?
That's what you got. Hey, it's okay.
I'm annoyed by the conscious crew and all that stuff. got to evolve. It's time to. It's over. Like that whole thing of what we are. Like if you didn't get it yet, then you got to figure it. You got to reach deep down inside and find it for yourself, and just do the simple things. Just do the simple things. It's extra, you know. No, putting on a dress and give me a meltdown. Sleeping with my baby mama gave me the meltdown, and going to court and realize how the system was.
Oh man.
No, because that's where I met my baby mama. See, that's what I'm saying. That's a narrative. That's a fake narrative. That's a false. That's what I'm saying. That's a false narrative. When I'm telling them what I am, people try to define you for what you are.
No, that's why. I mean, I just like to have the platform.
Just put on a dress and give you a meltdown. No. My decision making on the set after caused so much stress in my life because I put myself in a personal hell of bad decisions. Just simple. It was like, yo, and that was just the playground for it. Mm-hmm. So it's like it's just I should never did the movie, which is a bad decision. I should never personally. I mean, it doesn't matter. I learned from it, but in retrospect, I should have never slept with Martin's makeup artist and had a baby. I should never went to court fighting for the baby. I mean, if I did, I should have did it more tactful. These are things that I did to myself that stressed me out. You know what I mean? That has nothing to do with, anybody else. These are my decisions. You know what I'm saying? That I made. So no, I didn't have a meltdown. I got deeply into spirituality, and I would start following other people's teachings and not looking within myself. And that's another bad decision I made. That's why you're going to have the 10 Things Not to Do series books. The first thing is coming out, 10 Things Not to Do in Marriage, 10 Things Not to Do in Entertainment, 10 Things Not to Do with Spirituality. I got a whole series called 10 and a Half Things Not to Do. So you guys can get the book pretty soon. The first one is Marriage.
I'm glad you're sharing your experiences with us. I know you use it in your act too as well. I know. I mean, to be a funny person, you guys will go through some very, sometimes depressing stuff, and you learn, and you got a lot of wisdom at a young age. So it's always a blessing to hear from a person that's been there, done that, and who can survive and also thrive. I mean, I just want to encourage you. You don't need my encouragement or blessing, but keep on pushing, man, because we want people like you. I want you to win, actually. And
but what's winning?
You gotta define it for you though, like success. Because people will put you in the box.
What's success?
Whatever, how you defined it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm learning from you. Well, I mean, you feeding people. There's a lot of people out here that's going through some stuff.
I'm not gonna let anybody else define what I see as successful. You know what's successful to me?
What?
Is going to a room that that I structured and I cleaned, and my socks are in order, and my toothpaste is in order, my cologne is in order, and everything is structured the way I wanted to structure. That's success to me. Making sure my kids are being fed this way, that's success to me. Making sure that my paperwork is done right for everything I'm doing, that's success. Managing things greatly is successful for me. All this other stuff is hype and scams. Based on what American dream have sold you guys what success is. I don't live under that jurisdiction anymore, spiritually, mentally, or physically. But I know how to play the game because I know how what most people has been fed. So you just let that go. Just let them go. Would he star in a Tyler Perry movie? It depends on the film and the messaging. I was starting a Brandon Jackson movie because I make my own films now.
So I know you said, I'm thinking about Tyler Perry, I'm thinking about Madea. So you would never put a dress on again? That's a no.
No, I wouldn't do that again. Mm-hmm.
And also, I didn't know until I did some. I didn't know that you played Eddie Murphy's son in the Beverly Hills Cop TV show that never aired, and that you had a chance to also play his son. You was originally picked to play his son in Coming to America, but you turned it down. So how was it like working with Eddie Murphy? Like,
he's amazing talent.
Do you regret like not playing in Coming to America?
No.
That's cool because I know like talking to actors is like what made their career out of roles they turned down, not only what they did and made iconic.
No, I'm saying like what I just don't understand. Eddie Murphy made a name for himself and he did an amazing job. So why
Mm-hmm.
can't I make an why can't I use that as inspiration to make a name for myself and my family? I don't like these. These are these thoughts, these limits that people put on themselves that you're not gonna put on me.
Yeah, I hear you on that, but also, I mean, it's interesting because I think you're the only person that ever played the sons of both Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, I
That's impressive,
manifested that.
huh?
I manifested that.
You manifest. Are they ever gonna show the Beverly Hills Cop?
I'm the one who manifested that to happen
I
because I
believe it.
chose for it to happen. Then I realized I didn't want that order. So I have another situation that I'm manifesting now.
That's cool. So you say you got also some movies coming out soon, right? On your own
Mm-hmm.
platform.
Mm-hmm.
How can we watch them? Are they gonna be? Mhm.
You can watch it on Netflix. You can watch it in theaters. Same way you watch the rest of my movies.
Okay, but are they gonna be through your family's network as well too? Are they gonna be available on there or?
Some will, some won't. Some movies I'm making for Netflix, so to feed the people's uh eyeballs where they looking, and some to draw eyeballs towards what we're doing.
That's cool. So I mean, like you out, your operations headquartered in LA, correct?
Mm-mm. Atlanta
Atlanta. I'm gonna ask you. Go ahead. What is about Atlanta? Is that like the new LA or?
credits, financial, tax credit.
Okay, that makes sense.
Easier that way.
Yeah. So I mean, also I want to ask you as well. I got to ask you about it's like you touched upon a lot of interesting things in your stand up, but like you talked about Brittany Griner
Mm-hmm.
and your take about that. And what are your thoughts about Brittany?
About Russia.
About yeah, that was hilarious. But I mean, like whatever you think about that case, was it fair?
No, it's
I
not.
mean,
I mean, I don't think. I just think Russian. The joke was about Russia, not really Britain, and how they treat. I said, well, you better be happy God didn't send us to slavery in Russia because we wouldn't have nothing, no hymns, none of this stuff. That's what I was saying. It's more how Russians conduct law.
mm-hmm.
It wasn't about. It wasn't a joke about Brittany. I wouldn't do. I wouldn't do that. That's not. That's to me. That's not tasteful. It was just talking about how she was in jail and court at the same time. And
Yeah. We know what also it was interesting. Like we just lost a guy named Albert Woodfox. He was a prisoner down in Angola in Louisiana in solitary confinement for almost 43 years. A black man. He was a Black Panther. And he was in solitary confinement for almost 43 years in America. I mean, that's a long time to be by yourself.
yeah, how many years?
43 almost. His memoir just came out in 2019. He just passed away on August the 4th. But I
Sad.
interviewed one of his prison mates. They called him the Angola 3. His name is Robert King. He's still around. He's 80, but he got out in 2001. He served almost 30 years in solitary confinement. And I asked him, how did you not go crazy? He said, what make you think I'm not crazy, man? But all they were doing was trying to stop sex slavery and prison rape in prison, and they got framed for killing a correctional officer that they didn't do. Even the widow don't believe they killed that guy. So they got put in solitary confinement for decades.
Sad.
Yeah, but I'm saying like we talk about places like Russia, but like America got 25% of the world's prison population.
As America does.
Yeah, 25% of the world. We got more prisoners here than Russia and China.
They built prisons.
Huh?
They built the prisons.
Yeah,
They
they
chose.
do.
We chose not to.
Mm,
You see the pattern here?
yeah,
Build the infrastructure that we play in.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah, but we have tried and done that, and they take it away from us.
Nothing can be taken away from you if you choose to fight for it.
Mm.
How
I
you
guess
fight.
it is. Yeah,
It's all about how you fight.
that's true.
It's given away.
Mm.
Can I just come in your house and just take everything from you?
Not without a fight, though. Now, if you come in with a force, I mean, I could do my best, but yeah, you're right.
So how you fight?
Mm. I like that answer. That's cool.
You know what I
So,
mean? It was simple.
Yeah, but you. So you. How long is your tour? How many other stops you got?
They've been at. I just did doing the Fall Back in Love tour, and the Fall Back in Love tour is it's so funny because everybody on the tour is pretty much going through a divorce and then started a divorce. August Anastina, uh, Trey Songz, Neo, and Mario.
Oh wow,
It's a comedy and relationship tour. So
that sounds yeah. That sounds actually fun.
it's pretty fun. I'm actually pretty funny outside of these interviews. I'm just don't feel like being funny right now. Look, there it goes.
Oh, that's cool. So how can we get like we can follow you on Instagram
Mm-hmm.
at Brendan T. Jackson, correct?
Yeah, there you go. It's my 10 things guide.
And when is that coming out? When's that debut?
I think we're gonna probably put out maybe like September 15th or something like that.
I'll definitely keep
If
an eye
anybody
out.
want to take acting courses too, my active mindset course is going on right now. We start again in the fall, so anybody want to start signing up, you can put the KOEstudios.life. Can you put that up there for me if you don't mind,
Okay.
please?
What's the name of it?
KOEstudios.life.
Okay.
Now, if you talk entertainment and fun, bro, I'm chilling. The deep talks,
KOE.
Studios.life.
Right. And we can talk. Hey man, I'm over this to talking, man.
You know, I'm here for it.
I know you've been very, very cool, and like I said, you're a chill, down to earth brother, man. You've been very patient.
Is that the word? I'm chilling.
I think it's on the screen. KO.
There
It's
you
you
go.
right here.
Yeah, you can check out. That's the one of the trailers for one of my movies I did. That's with but Jeezy's not in this one.
Okay.
Let me show you this real quick. There you go. Sorry about the blue little thing at the bottom. We was.
I know you trying to be Trap City. That's with Jeezy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. Okay, you ain't going nowhere. You just like you said, you on your journey, man.
I own this property and produce this property. It's gonna be in theaters and it's gonna be on Netflix. That's what I'm
Sounds
saying.
like you
I don't get what nobody's talking.
So you on your what you doing your thing. Now I gotta ask you, you said
People just want you to do your thing on their time. I don't have time for that. You see what
Detroit
I'm saying?
City cop. Uh-huh.
Now what? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about?
I
Like,
mean, hey,
no, it's like
you give
but
them
I'm
the
saying,
receipts.
but no, the stupid thing is when you go out and they see you on TV, it's like, oh, you're back again. I don't even know what that means. Like it's just because you don't see me don't mean I'm not working.
Yeah, but you doing stuff behind the scenes as well. You taking care of both ends.
Yeah,
The
that's
front
art.
and the back.
There's art and then there's business. You got solar
Right.
powered businesses, then you have land. Yeah, this entertainment is not the only way to make money. That's like one way to make money in life. It's just that that's the only way we know how to make money is by dancing.
You tell them the truth.
You know what I'm saying? It's stupid. We don't want to sit down and just do business.
But my thing is this, like, we get these horror stories, these urban tales, or very true. Like, you look at Prince and Michael Jackson and Sam Cooke. When you try to do business like that, they want to take you out, allegedly.
Because that's because that's not that's how you structure your business. That's some stuff is brought on by yourself. If you know, I mean, of course, I mean, whatever you create is yours. That's a universal law. But if you create something that's yours on somebody else's infrastructure, yeah, of course. And you try to buy their infrastructure, they're not going to sell it to you. So just create your own.
Yeah, I agree with you. You built your own, but I remember like Stan Lee said that Michael was trying to buy Marvel back in like 20-something years ago, and
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, he was trying to buy Marvel. He would have bought. Imagine if he had Marvel, huh?
Did he build Marvel?
Maybe he could. He had that catalog, but they took that from him, from his folks eventually.
Or they give it up?
Undervalued it. Yeah, huh?
They give it up.
Well, they gave it up for money that wasn't what it really was worth. But
$1 billion it was.
It should have been. That Sunny ATV catalog had Elvis and the Beatles and a lot of stuff in it.
So it's for $1 billion.
Huh? Did they sell? I don't think they sold. I think it sold under $1 billion. It wasn't $1 billion. But they sold their part. But I'm saying you playing on their chessboard and they own all the pawns. I remember reading. I know James Brown's son said that Otis Redding was gonna go in the distribution business with him in the music business. Next thing you know, Otis Redding is dead. And I talked to people that used to work with Otis Redding. One guy said he was stupid, not because he was dumb, but he would broadcast all his moves. Like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Because Otis did own his publishing. He wrote "Sit on the Dock of the Bay." Exactly. He wrote his song "Respect." Huh?
I'm broadcasting moves that are already done. But the moves I'm saying, it's just not hard. Yeah. When you start talking about certain things that infringe on certain things, but that's not. It's not. That's just that's one person.
I hear you. I mean, I definitely I hear you on that. But also,
you gonna kill everybody?
Now that's bad for business. Even the mob know that they don't kill everybody. You kill all your customers off. You can't kill everybody.
That's what I'm saying. So everybody just needs to do the same thing.
Yeah, I guess somebody asks, what is your favorite role you ever played?
I haven't played it yet.
I like that answer. And if somebody asks, how did you get started in the business?
Doing comedy in Detroit, in my dad's church, and then I started doing clubs, and I went to L.A., did 3 minutes at the Laugh Factory, and then I was discovered by an agent named Lena that calls the CAA, and then from that, I started auditioning. My second audition was Roll Bounce, and I got the role.
So you just had it. So you didn't have no blueprint. Just went out there and you had no connection in LA before you came, or
instincts.
That's something we all should learn, how to trust our instincts and intuition.
Moving forward the right way, knowing that it's things to bring.
You in court and in jail at the same time. The Russians are
See, jokes about the Russians, the way they do law. I want people to know.
I remember. Yeah, I remember that.
Nobody's, and I joked about Brittany Griner in a bad way, because I think that's a bad situation going on there.
But do you think she would have been home already if Trump got A$AP Rocky and the LeVar Ball son, the LeVar Ball brother, out of prison? In Switzerland or whatever, in China. You think Trump could have got her home before all this?
Why can't Jesse Jackson go over
there? Oh, Jesse's shaking and baking everywhere right now. I mean, he's in his 80s, but back in the day, he probably could have got it done. But I'm saying with Trump, he got A$AP all of them out, and they were guilty, and they still came home.
White Daddy. People love begging White Daddy, don't they?
Well, I gotta ask you this, man, because you said you're gonna be touring with August Alsina. What's your take on the Will Smith Chris Rock thing?
That the internet has allowed everybody to tell everybody business. And there's nothing worse than a man's ego being challenged through a woman's decision making. It's all about how you react. It's all about how you react. Somebody can make you react a certain way that's detrimental to you and yourself. You gave all your power away. So sad. But
I mean,
Will's done a lot of greatness. If we measure out and equal out everything from the perspective of checks and balances, Will has done more good. So why would you throw him under the bus for this one stupid act? He deserves mercy.
I agree with you. I mean, I don't think he should be counseled. I mean, I think his issue is he let his woman put a battery in his back and send him on his way, but he should be in better control of his emotions. But I don't know the backstory between all of them. They could be some type of lovers triangle. I don't know.
From the optics of what we see, it just looks like his emotions got a hold of him from a trigger.
Mm-hmm.
But the trigger wasn't controlled, and it wasn't thought out, and he moved directly off instincts of what he thought was right. Bro, you got a 3-hour live. This is a long live, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I love you, but this is a 3-hour. You been on here for 3 hours?
Yeah, I've been trying to warm it up for you, man. First, I'm gonna just cut it off. Let me go ahead and go, man. So I wrapped it up. I said, let me just keep
on the whole time. The file wasn't loading up right. So
no, I ain't blaming you, man. I don't take it. Look, I dealt with Dick Gregory for 6 years. You know how it is to deal with Dick Gregory? Go on the road with Dick Gregory. I'm good. I'm prepared, but I don't take it personal, man. I know you're a busy man, but I saw you for myself, the type of person you are on Friday.
Let everybody know this. I am not an activist. I'm not.
He said, no way. No. Ain't no money in activism. I don't care what.
There's no activation activism.
Mm-hmm.
It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time because you don't have to complain about something you can do.
Yeah.
It's democracy. It's stupid. Like the way we look at it from a perspective of, like, I'm not saying democracy is stupid. I'm saying the way we look at it in a way where we're seeing that the same system, the same loop has been going. Someone rises up, they tell somebody the truth, and then they shoot the guy. It's the same shit over and over. And it's like the same that you tell the people, man, this is an old story from the prophets in the Bible. You tell people stuff, they never listen. So it's like, it doesn't even matter because whatever's going to happen anyways.
Mm-hmm.
It's already written for it to happen. So whether people know about it or not, that's going to be on them. It's been served notice to for how many years? You know what I'm saying? So just enjoy your family, enjoy your life, and enjoy your friends and do the simple things. Start with that.
Mm-hmm.
Can black people do the simple things? And y'all want to get yourself black? Can we do the simple things first? We fight the power.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you fight the power? Stupid. Become the power. He's trying to fight it. You ever try to swim against the current? It's a waste of time. I'm not tired. You get swim. You ever been surfing and try to swim against the current? You drown.
No, I'll be thinking about how people try to swim against the current in Lake Lanier. I don't think about it. I don't know what's going on there.
It's a waste of time, waste of energy.
You know what?
Any other questions from the gallery of the Peanuts?
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I believe that is probably one of the most deepest thoughts I've ever seen, and with that, that if that's not proven, then that's just another thought of an infrastructure that that is not. I mean, all this stuff is just, it just keeps going. Who Who's fact checking this stuff? You know what I'm saying?
That's a good question. You know, like in this day and age,
I'm tired of all this stuff that people are saying. Where's the references? I don't know. That could be real. I don't know. I'm tired of it. Could be real. It could be real what he's saying. I'm not saying he's wrong. I just don't like. Can we get like? Is there somebody? Why do you come across? No, I'm just being lazy right now. Me talking. I'm just gonna. You know what I'm saying? That's why
yeah, you being a good sport though. You being a good sport, man. Yeah.
Why you gonna do? Where we go with that? No, they say what? Why do I say disconnected reality? Because that's what you're seeing. That's your perspective. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm too connected with reality that I don't have time for. I'm not gonna entertain BS. That's what you're saying. So if I look connected to reality, you come to my show the next day. Oh, he was funny. You see what I'm saying? I don't get in these conversations no more because my job is to make you laugh and keep moving right now. You know what I'm saying? When we start talking all these deep conversations, Jay didn't make him do anything. He chose behavior. You know what I'm saying? There you go. Everybody got a perspective. It's beautiful. This person thinks I'm disconnected to reality. Say I love Will, slap him again. You know what I'm saying? Everybody having fun.
Let me ask you this though: are you concerned as a comedian, as an entertainer, for your security at these clubs?
For what?
You know, after the Will Smith, that's the Oscars. They didn't stop him or anything like that. They let him stay after slapping Chris Rock.
I don't entertain thoughts that doesn't uplift my goal of what we're doing on the earth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't entertain thoughts. People want you to be the character they see you in a movie, but that's something I showed y'all. So now being relaxed, I'm disconnected from reality. It's like no matter what you do, people are gonna see something else. You come off like this because I'm chilling back. I'm just chilling. I'm not doing anything, but I'm disconnected reality. You see what I'm saying? Everyone's gonna see whatever they see. They got this thing. What's this thing? They got this thing. These pictures where sometimes people see blue and some people see gold. Like,
yeah, I know you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying? You can't control people see.
Yeah, you can't really. You're a public figure too, so you got to develop like a thick skin when it comes to these type of so-called criticisms and stuff like that, or perspectives that people want to share.
I don't care. It doesn't bother me because that's what they're seeing. That's what they're choosing to see. That's their choice. To me, this ain't even that deep. It's like people think it's deep. Yeah, people expect you to chuck and jive every time they see. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Kevin Hart does the whole laughing thing all the time. Like I don't do that every time. Sometimes I just want to chill.
You know, you said I was thinking about the brother who played Carlton on the original Fresh Prince. Like he said, people be coming up to him in the mall, do the Carlton. I said, damn, do the Carlton. I mean, that was a character, it's an iconic character, but damn, like he with his family, they want him to stop everything and do that. I like, man, people are weird, man.
You just can't chill back.
Yeah.
And just talk, have a conversation. You gotta be, hey, woo!
That is Kevin Hart. I mean, and as soon as he don't do that for one interview, people think something wrong.
He chooses to sell his product, and I love it. He's amazing. That's his product. I sell my product the way I want to sell it. When I want to sell it the way I want to sell it. If I'm doing comedy, honestly, I'm saying, Luna, I just don't feel like doing this interview. That's saying I don't feel like talking to my brother. I like having a regular conversation. So we vibing right now. So it's not like I don't want to talk about nothing. It's just like I don't know what's going on right now. I'm literally like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just vibing.
Yeah. I think most of us doing that. We're not aware of it though.
I don't even know what type of crowd. I'm guessing this is a conscious, like what crowd or where am I? What portal am I in? How about that? So we can figure out what I'm talking about. I know what portal I'm in. You just said let me get an interview. I'm like, let's go. I'm here, and we start talking about stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, look, it's whatever we make it to be. Like you said, we built it.
This is on some chill out. That's what I'm saying. I knew it was gonna be like this. That's why I'm chilling out. We're not really talking about nothing. And we just on here for 3 hours. Well, you've been over 3 hours just chilling. People wanted to see you talk next to a mic. And then it
Yeah, I
goes
mean, people are interested.
yeah, then it goes into this portal of YouTube that none of us own or
Right.
control. And we just talk, just a bunch of avatars talking on the portal, just talking.
Mm-hmm. Who is who is your favorite comedian right now working? Who would you like to watch?
Dave Chappelle.
I gotta ask you, because I remember Damon Wayne saying that Dave Chappelle is not doing specials, he's doing speeches. Is that a problem? I mean, is he necessary? Is it necessary, like the type of stand-up he does in these times?
Who said that?
Oh, Damon Wayne is like, he's not doing specials, he's just doing speeches.
Everybody got something to say about everybody else. Great. Good for Damon Wayans and good for Dave Chappelle. They both won.
Mm-hmm.
He got his opinion across. One got paid $60 million for his opinion, and one got paid probably nothing for that opinion that he put out there. I mean,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't have any perspective. I'm here just kind of just chilling in life and watching, sitting back and watching. I don't have any strong views towards anything right now. I'm just kind of just chilling out and just, whatever Dave Chappelle is doing, I like his work. I like how he's putting together his content. So, if Damon feels like he's doing speeches, that's what Damon is saying. Just like the lady feels like I'm out of touch with reality, which I'm so in touch with reality that I seem out of touch. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
Corey Holcomb is funny. I mean, all these comedians are funny. They're supposed to be funny. That's their job, right?
Mm-hmm. They do it well.
Simple. I got you, Luna. Love you. I wasn't trying to see what's about people. I'm not afraid. I know. Voice your opinion. I love it. Let's do it. I just wish I owned YouTube.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody better just making so much, setting their family up
Right.
by our opinions. That's why I'd be like, oh my God, who controlling me in the infrastructure? I just think different.
Ain't nothing wrong with thinking different and doing different.
I think of, they got this book called The Billionaire Mindset, The Small Business Mindset, and The Employee Mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like actually a billionaire, trillionaire. I think like one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do I have the infrastructure to build that? I don't know. It's yet to be determined, but I don't think like a millionaire or a small business mind. I think like a billionaire, according to the book.
So, what businessman or business person best exemplifies your thinking right now? Who's currently around?
I can't really say. I don't know. I never met them personally, but it's just a mindset of how you look at life. They look at life, what's the greater good for all, and how everybody's energy can come to one portal. That's how billionaires think.
Mm-hmm.
Small businessman's minds thinks, how can I serve me? And Black America is thinking like small businessmen. They're not thinking like billionaires as a whole. They're thinking in a way where, how can I get what I need to get for my family?
Mm-hmm.
Billionaires think, how can we have a system that serves humanity and everyone? Amazon, Apple. They think of all energies in one portal, serving the greater good. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Brother, yeah. So I know you got to get ready for your last set in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
How's been the reception? Like, I went on Friday, I really enjoyed myself. What's been like the reception for you?
And I love it. I love looking too deep when I'm saying stuff that's simple. It's like you know what I'm saying? This guy got sunglasses on in a hotel room. You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
you do your thing, man. I ain't worried about it.
It's crazy. You gotta, I'm really just sitting back with sunglasses on, talking, and everyone's like, "Oh, man, what do you?" I'm like, it's hilarious to me to watch people's perception of what they think you should be.
That's an interesting question. What you say to
Yes,
that?
yes, G, we'll be partnering with content creators.
Can people submit like content or ideas to
Yes,
your bit? Okay, how would they do that?
go through KOE Studios,
Okay.
KOEstudios.life. Did you put up the website?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it up right back again.
We got acting courses too, y'all. If you want some acting courses, I'm much more fun in my acting courses. This is just me being neutral. I'm just being fun. I'm doing this on purpose just to mess with y'all.
Oh, you fine, man. I mean, I know, man, life is crazy right now. I'm just thankful that you could do the interview with us, give you some of your time.
This was an interview. This was, I don't know what this was. This was a random me talking random. You did a great job. Me, I don't know what I'm talking about.
You fine.
I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm overdoing it.
No, me being yourself, and like I said, I always I believe in people being their authentic selves. That's how you make your real contribution to humanity, by being who you are and not apologizing for that. And so I'm just thankful, man, because I had no idea.
I'm in a mode. I ain't gonna lie. I'm in a mode.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't meet me in this mode yesterday. I'm in a mode just because I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like anything about the fight the power stuff and all that, I'm not talking about it anymore because I realized that the simplest things will allow us to do the goal of what we're talking about. And talking about this fake ass revolution that's never going to happen according to the way it's going. It's a scam to me because everyone is saying something different. You press play though.
Yeah, I'm about to make sure I got the audio share.
But this ain't even this is the old trailer. This is the one without Jeezy in it.
Okay, that's fine, but I'm still trying to put it back. I want to make sure I have the audio.
They can't manifest us working together as people in the family. It's stupid. You only can manifest cars in houses.
About to play this trailer.
I manifested this house. It's funny at this point. That ain't even a real cover. Don't even look at that.
Stop resisting! Hands behind your back. Stop resisting! I'm not resisting!
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the abuse of power is at the heart of the matter here. This is outrageous. This is a travesty of justice. You have a responsibility to make a difference.
In this game, there's a thin line
I heard your song.
between real and fake, truth and lies, the streets and reality.
You're playing a very dangerous game, boy, and you're gonna lose.
It's Trap City. Don't get caught in the trap.
I'm impressed. Why the quality, the production level.
That is actually the bad one. No, that's the old one.
That's the old one.
That's the one we did when we were shooting the movie.
Wow, but I'm look at the production value, man. You serious about? I mean, that's like some good.
What we did, we color corrected it. It's 3 times that much.
I mean, I want to see it now. That's what I'm saying. I'm looking forward to seeing it now. When is it coming out?
Man, you better ask Netflix. I gotta see. We gotta get this. Jeezy just finished the soundtrack. I
Oh,
gotta
wow.
finish my songs. So once we get the songs done, we're gonna put it out. I think we have to. It comes out, I think October. No. January, I think comes out January. We have to get the music thing done. So I
Hey,
should
man.
do the video next week.
So did you write the script yourself or?
No,
Uh,
I got a young, well not young, but I got a raw director that was black. I raised the financing, got the script, licensed the script, casted it, and put everything together, and then executed it as executive producer. Yeah, my Trap City. If you really that's what I'm saying.
I mean, she
Everything, no, everything's not what it seems. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I got her with that thought. I'm a beast at this. See, on the surface, you think it's just a trap movie.
Right.
You know. Thank you for that. You actually fell right into the trap of my mind. Thank you for saying that. But if you watch the movie, you realize the message of what it is.
Yeah. But you got me with the old trailer, man. It's very like well done and how y'all edited it. You know, it's like I think you should get a lot of eyes on that film whenever it decide to get dropped.
If they like it, they do. They don't. They always have something to say. And people always perceive things what they see. You know, Trap City is about not being caught in the traps.
Mm-hmm.
The everyday traps that we go on, that we get into.
Mm.
You know, getting out the trap. You know, a cocoon for a butterfly, getting out the trap, not going into the same traps that reversal traps. But all she heard was Trap City, and that's just how it is. Which is great because that's what we spoke. That's what we're doing. Because if sometimes people know you got a message behind something, they're not gonna watch it. So if it appears to be ignorant, they'll watch it.
So you do care about empowering and educating the people. It sounds like.
I never said I don't care about educating and empowering people. I said I don't care about these monotonous conversations about doing it. Just do it. Empower yourself. Just do it. It's like Nike was like, I'm gonna make something called Nike. Just do it. They just did it. They just manifested it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Rip. That's his way of saying get the hell off of it.
I ain't putting everything. I put up the guy, yo.
Nah, I'm laughing.
Yeah. Well, people are tuning in to you. Got a lot of folks in here listening to you.
People in there.
It's like over 100 people.
Hey, how you get your StreamYard on YouTube?
I got connected my YouTube channel to my StreamYard account.
For my classes, I might want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, hey, whatever, man. It'd be an honor. You definitely somebody got a lot to say, and I thank you for taking the time. Like you didn't have to do this. I mean, I know you got a lot of things going on, but you taking time to sit down and being candid with the people, that's very important. Because a lot of times people have a hard time of trusting folks, from Hollywood or whatever. People talking about Hollywood and they got airs. But like when I met you, you was a down to earth brother, man.
I'm from Detroit. I'm not from Hollywood. I wasn't born and raised in Hollywood. I was born and raised in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
So
how did that help you being from Detroit?
When you're from somewhere, it means you're born and raised.
That's right. But how did it help you? How do you think Detroit helped you in your success, in your path?
It's just Detroit. I mean, it's just a vibe. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just what we are. We just like, we created Motown, you know what I'm saying? Cars, and we're production city. We're people of vision and dreams and production and execution. But it gets downplayed because of the city's reputation for crime and violence. We are the love city before there was Philly.
I love Detroit. I mean, the architecture is amazing.
I love Philly though.
And Philly cool, but I mean, Detroit is architecture, the history and the architecture, man. And like you just said, all this stuff is amazing.
We're visionaries in Detroit. No, generational wealth, venture capitalists, cheap foreign labor, and I meant the the spell that they cast.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it. But still, they just did it, right? That
Mm-hmm.
generational wealth, that venture capitalism, and that foreign labor in Jordan, they just did it, right? It was done.
Mm-hmm.
So it got done. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
Everything down to a science, and we don't have nothing getting done. You see, this is why this is why I don't have these long talks. This is why I don't have these long talks with people, because they just go do it. You know what I mean? All this.
Well, what happened was generational wealth, and then we had this happen, and then we went back. See, the pyramid is what we had to do when we created that, and then they came here, the spaceships. See, that's why I don't see the Israelites. We had to push things here. See, what the Bible said, the infrastructure of that, the Queen of England had this back for this here, and then we flipped that back, and then now put your insurance claims on there, and then what we do is we're gonna do a podcast about it, and then we're gonna talk about it, and then we're gonna. It's like, shut the fuck up with that shit. Just do it. Look how these talks, these dumbass fucking niggas.
Oh shit.
Talking to a man who created his own currency based off of love.
Mm-hmm.
Don't talk to me about these fucking shits anymore, about this stupid talk about what we need to do anymore. I want to hear none of that shit. everybody on a group, everybody on a freaking, everybody on some guru. Everybody's a fucking guru, and there's nothing getting done.
Mm-hmm.
Tired of these gurus. It's the same thing. This is stupid. Like, what? I don't get it. It's the same. Like, it's so dumb to me. Why don't black? I don't know. Why? Why? Because you keep calling yourself black. That's why. Stop calling yourself black. Why are you putting yourself in these things where you limit your mind? I know, right? They be scamming. How about this? Show me one of these pro-black people that don't take cash.
I mean, you need money, right?
Nah. I don't want to hear nothing about what you need. You're done right there. I don't hear nothing else. Until you, this where I'm at. If we're gonna play the money game, we're gonna play the money game.
Right.
If we're gonna play the God spirituality game, we're gonna play that game full out. Two different games.
It's interesting. There's a Jamaican started that, like the beef patties or something.
Company you should follow, learn about how Golden Crust Bakery built a major company. Great. See this business. I would love to listen about. Yes.
Is that out in New York?
If we're gonna play the spirituality game, let's stick with that. If we're gonna play the money game, then we're gonna stick with that. That's what I'm saying. Pick one.
Just know the game you playing and play to win. It would sound like.
So I'm done with it. I'm done with no. Pick one. We playing a money game. We're gonna talk money. We're playing the spirituality game. We're gonna play that game without money.
Yeah, I heard that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how much money it costs for Moses to put his staff up and to turn into, if that happened, right? How much it costs for Moses to put his staff and the snake, it turned into a snake? How much did that cost?
Nothing. I mean, Father.
Right. So either we talking God or we talking money. I don't hear nothing else. If we talking God, then show me the powers. Let me see where they at. Show me the powers, y'all. Ain't not one Hotep, not one Israelite, not one Christian, not one Muslim, not one body has came and said, "Let my people go," and then fire and brimstone start happening. Until then, where the check at? Because that's what we all serving right now. Yes, Luna, there are videos. That's why I say I'm not doing it anymore. You're right. There's no point until somebody show up with the powers. Ain't nobody talking. Ain't nobody more talking. Cash at me. How about that? Cash at me at
Yeah, man, you go ahead, do that.
Hold on. We're gonna do since we playing this game. Y'all wanna play the conscious game. This is what conscious do. Here. Cash at me at here y'all go. Since y'all want to play the there you go. Kingdom Over Everything Foundation, right there.
Okay, got that.
Look, Malcolm Martin died broke, so everybody has to, I guess. No, is it we're gonna play the money game or we're gonna play the God game? The two different things.
I definitely hear you on that.
You know what I'm saying? Like if we talking money, look at this. PayPal, pay to rich. This we talking right now. This is the money game. Because you just said it. You need money to live, right?
Yeah.
That's wrong.
I mean,
you don't need it. See, that's a scam. See, that's what I'm talking
so
about.
like, what do we need? We need air. We need water. I know. I need air.
When was your body made of cells of Benjamin Franklin dollars? See, this is what I'm saying. This is why I don't have these conversations, because people don't want to be free. Because if they did, they will be free. Period. So let's play this freaking game and let's go get some cash. Because that's what it says at the bottom. Cash at me at R2C2H2. PayPal and Google Pay. So they built that infrastructure. Beautiful. Give it up for Steve Jobs. Give it up for Steve Wozniak. Give it up for whoever created Google. Give it up for all them.
Yeah.
Now, one of these people I see out there farming their own land.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to do that. Question, how many guys ride horses? How many guys use horses?
That's a good question. Not even a mule.
No, I need to know everybody on this thing. How many people have horses? How many people say they got horses? And
they haven't responded.
Let them respond. And how many people know? How many of them know how to herd sheep without a horse?
I doubt it. They haven't responded.
Oh, see what I'm talking about. Y'all want freedom.
Mm-hmm.
How many people? No, he's right. The black farmer situation was a problem. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is, how many people can ride horses?
They haven't answered. They posting everything else but that.
Brandon, I'm in an interview. I'm gonna call you right back in 2 minutes. All right. See, what does that have to do with anything? Go, Luna, go get your money, baby.
All right, we got a brother from Memphis. He said, I can.
I can. Thank you, brother. I'm happy. Thank you, brother. Put in the great, Newt the Great.
Yeah, Peanut the Great.
Peanut the Great. I thought it was my bad, brother.
So
what does that have to do with anything? Exactly. So that's why you come to my comedy show. Thank you. You're not allowed to. I can ride, but don't have them, right? Why don't we have this stuff? Come on. This is what I'm saying. Like, we don't value, we're talking about, this is what I'm saying.
Right.
That's why I'm going to go get money. Because I don't want to hear, there's no point of having these conversations because we don't see the value in what we really need to see the value in.
Yes, sir.
So where's our horses? Where's our sheep? Where's our land?
Mm-hmm.
Where's any of that? And no one even, where's the groups that's even, they're expensive. No, they're not. They're not. You know why they're not? No, I'm see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. All this matrixy situation. Okay, got you. That's an honest question. It has to do with understanding how the earth works versus how infrastructures in the earth work. So example is like, did we study how the infrastructure of the earth first before we got on the grid? Horses are a form of what? Transportation.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So why do you need oil? Well, just think about this. Oil is a natural resource, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so why didn't we dig our oil?
I mean, why did we dig?
Why is everybody else going for the natural resources of the earth and we talking about twerking?
That's a good question.
No one wants to hear it anymore. You talking about money, which is not a natural resource. The Amish, you want to talk about a religion? The Amish.
Mm-hmm.
See, and listen, got to get some land first. You telling me there's nobody in the nation of our people that got an 800 credit score and that everybody can put into a pot. See, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And buy land. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. See, we have cars now. Exactly. We got cars now. And those cars take what?
Gas. Oil, yeah.
That oil is made from energy. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This is why I don't have these conversations. This is why I don't have these conversations. Everyone else is going for the natural resources and we're twerking. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna make some nice films. And I have these conversations because people want to, when I go on Instagram, how many twerking things I see.
Oh yeah, I hear you. Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. Our value is our bodies and our music is what we put ourselves as the people.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? This is not, we're not focused on what we're supposed to be focused on. And I can't make people choose to focus on something that they should be focused on. What you mean? What do you mean by that? I don't understand. There's money doesn't mean anything. That's trying to understand it. You're the value. We don't know our value. They tie money to a person in credit. Without the person moving the wheel, you see what I'm saying? But it's like, this is why I don't have these conversations. There's no point. I have them privately. If you want knowledge, you want to understand what's going on, you come seek it. Because some people want to take the blue pill, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Blue pills are fun sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm chilling, bro. I don't got time for all this.
Well, thank you, brother Brandon. I ain't gonna hold. I know you guys, man. Your show, I'm cutting it close to showtime, but I want to thank you for taking the time.
Thank you, brother. Hey, y'all be cool. I'm happy I was able to be mystically entertaining and random and rude and happy at the same time.
And we appreciate you, man. But you do got a lot of knowledge, man. I just, like I said, I didn't know what to expect on Friday, but you're a good brother. Wishing you amplified blessings and continued success.
I was there, chuckles, making people chuckle. That's what they did.
Right. You made me laugh. I didn't just chuckle, man.
For a purpose. I know the purpose for this interview. I'm like, what am I doing here? So I just didn't know what was going on. So I'm like, is this a movie review? Is this a content show? It's just like, hey, man, come on my show and talk.
A little bit of everything we did. We touched on your movie.
Exactly. We floating through the space with it. And that's exactly what you got from me.
Yeah, you, man. You authentically you. I appreciate it.
You put it out there. So that's why y'all see why y'all got a random Brandy Jackson. Because he had no show. He had no show notes. What we talking about, nothing. And I loved it. I love stuff like this.
You're an artist, man. You're a performer. You're an artist, man. You're a manifester or manifestar. And we appreciate you, man. Where's Duke Elton? I mean, how can people get in touch with you for your private or your consultation, your classes and stuff? How can people do that?
Oh, yeah. Just go to koestudios.life.
Okay.
Sign up for the courses. Let me see if they're still on there. Or just sign up on the website and say you want to be a part of the courses. We're doing some cool movies.
Okay, man. Thank you, man. I wish you continue success.
Movies and film and television. That's the fun part. All this other. We want free. Y'all don't want freedom for real.
No, you're right.
No, you don't. You don't want freedom. I'm telling you, you don't. It's too much. It's a headache.
Yeah.
You know how much freedom costs?
It's priceless. But it's a cost.
Time. Struggle.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Luna. That's my job. I'm an entertainer. That's what I do. How I entertain you, that's what you're gonna get. Listen, black people don't want freedom. One, because they still call themselves black. Number two, my IG is at Brandon Jackson. Number two is this is the
Brandon T. Jackson, right? At Brandon T.
these
Jackson.
thoughts are just this is stupid to me. This is it's like what's going on. Everyone always focuses on a problem. Look what they're doing to us. Look what they're doing. They're doing. Look what they're doing. Every day. What are we doing? You know what I'm saying? What are we doing?
That's a great question.
All this talking, I'm so tired. That stuff make my hair hurt. Thank you, Greg. You got 100 people in here?
Yeah.
Like 100 or 99?
I mean, it fluctuates. It go up and down. But you've been having like over 100 strong for most of the time you've been in here. And it's going down now. It's going down.
Yeah, people, they like, okay.
Yeah, but people catch it on a replay. But thank you so much, Brother Brandon. The words Duke Elton. We love you madly.
I love you too. I love trolling and having fun with y'all.
Hey, if y'all in Memphis, in the Memphis area, please check them out tonight at Chuckles. I think there's still some seats left. 8 p.m. showing. It's worth it.
Sunday.
Huh?
There's seats left on a Sunday.
Oh, yeah. So, man, it's the last. If you're in the Memphis area, check them out, man. Thank you, Brother Brandon. Take care of yourself.
You too, brother. Love you, man. Y'all be cool.
Love. Yes, sir.
Love, peace, and happiness.
Peace and happiness. And that does it for this show, family. You can catch it on the replay, We All BTV, YouTube, We All BTV. And also, like I said, like what you heard, here's the word. Please spread it. Cash App your support at $R2C2H2. That's $R2C2H2. Also, wear artivist art. Go below the video description box to access our Teespring shelf to get you some wonderful art to wear. Also, you could Google Pay, PayPal, and Zelle your support at r2c2h2@gmail.com, Vimo at r2c2h2. Buy artivist art, r2c2h2.com. And it was an interesting show indeed. Like, I ain't expect to be on the air for about 4 hours, but you never know what they expect. Thank you so much, Dodge. Jay, we love you madly. Thank y'all for hanging in. Dr. Short, he been, go to Randy Lancaster Short, and he been on Brother DeJuan show. Shout out to him out of L.A. Dr. Short been out there doing his thing, and thank God we still got him in this matrix, because I know he had a couple of health scares earlier this year. I'm glad. I like you, Luna. I owe you a phone call, I think. Got me all mesmerized over here. Okay. Thank you for your interest and input and perspective. Thank you, Brother Peanut the Great, for your input and for being a trooper and hanging out with us. I mean, Brother Brandon, he's a performer, comedian. He's different, man. He's an artist. I have no problem with him. I thought he was a decent brother. He was a good sport. Like I said, I dealt with Dick Gregory for 6 years. Y'all know how that played out. May he rest in peace, the righteous ancestor. So I think Dick got me ready to handle anybody. After dealing with Dick Gregory, I could deal with anybody. Thank you, Heartstone. We love you madly. Thank you. I mean, Brother Master J, you're entitled to your opinion. I thank you for hanging out with us. I mean, I didn't try to say anything, but thank you for this riding with us today. Thank you. No problem. Yeah. That was an interesting day. I think y'all did a great job. Y'all asked some great questions. Y'all asked the questions I wanted to ask you, y'all beat me to the punch. I'm thankful for having a dedicated following of people on WeAllBe TV platform. Y'all really do your homework. Say that. Yeah, I mean, he's being himself. Yeah, that's Bishop, Bishop's son, Bishop Wayne Jackson, very prominent minister, man of God. Thank y'all so much. I'm just going through. It's like I don't want to end the show. Like I said, I was battle ready. I was prepared for shows like this. I could ride the storm. Thank you, man. You also guys, thank you for sharing your points, man. I remember Golden Crust. I remember I was in New York, up in Brooklyn, back in 2016. I went to one of their restaurants. Them beef patties be on point. I don't know why all the Jamaicans be putting them beef patties. Y'all talking about them Taco Bell taco. I don't know what they be putting in them beef patties, but they sure is good. But I remember the guy from Golden Crust, the owner or whatever, died under questionable circumstances. I think they say he suicided himself. One of Jamaican food places. I don't know. You never know what's going on with somebody. Thank you, brother Mark. Appreciate it. y'all really was funny, man. Y'all really was on y'all thing, man. I appreciate y'all. Oh, wait, I gotta check out what that Web 3 phenomenon is. I'm not hip to that. You go to the Teespring. We got WeAllBe TV shirts below. You go below the video description box, access that shelf. It'll take you to our official Teespring t-shirt site. And we got WeAllBe TV shirts available there. Thank you so much for your interest. Thank y'all, man. I ain't expect to do no 4-hour show today. I had no idea. And also shout out to Sister Carrie Dangerous. I was on her platform earlier for almost 2 hours. So I basically been on for about 6 hours. I've been on just about 6 hours on the air. But thank y'all so much. In the words of the great Duke Ellington, we love you madly. Y'all keep on producing and pushing. One love. There's one love. Okay.